What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot here with you. Rico hopefully hopping on with me shortly. Live on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel on a Wednesday night for the official reveal of the 2025 NFL schedule. The official reveal of the 2025 Buffalo Bills schedule. We are just 25 minutes away from getting the official schedule from the NFL, from the Bills, and from all 31 other teams. However, if you know the game by now, you know that it's been leak central all day long. Leak after leak, reveal after reveal, to the point where it looks like we might have a good idea. We actually may have it set in stone what the schedule is already. In fact, we probably had it set in stone since about noon this afternoon. It feels like every year the predictions get more and more accurate, to the point where this year it seemed like we got a solidified schedule earlier than ever. Typically, you have to wait until around now to get the official schedule, but it looks like we do have a good idea. 99% accurate, I'd say, as to what the Buffalo Bills schedule will be looking like. I'm seeing in the chat people saying it's already out. Yes, so that's basically what I'm saying. It feels as though it's out. The one that I'm about to show you, it's pretty much it's been all but confirmed at this point. Nothing has been officially released by the Bills or the NFL, but from what everyone's saying, from how it seems to line up with other reports from other teams, this schedule that has been curated amongst the Bills Mafia faithful on Twitter this afternoon seems to be the one that's going to be solidified in about 20 minutes or so. So you might be asking, well, what does that look like, Bot? I haven't been on Twitter today. What does that look like? Well, let's take a peek right now at what will very likely be the Buffalo Bills schedule here in 2025. By the way, so good to have you in on a Wednesday night. One of my favorite random nights of the year. It always feels like a mini holiday, the NFL schedule release, because it feels real. It feels like the season is just around the corner, and that's exactly what it is. It kicks off September 4th, Thursday night football. Chiefs, Cowboys. We'll talk a little bit about that later. The Eagles and the Cowboys, I believe. Yes, Eagles, Cowboys. I'm so used to saying Chiefs kicking off the season that I mistakenly just said it right now. We'll talk about the Chiefs, though. Speaking of those Chiefs, we'll talk about their schedule throughout the night as well, because, wow, do they have what looks to be an awfully intriguing schedule yet again. Last year, they played on every single weekday but one. This year, they're once again getting a schedule that, I got to be honest with you, if I was a fan of the Chiefs, I would not love. We'll talk about that later on. But let's talk about our Buffalo Bills right now and what looks to be the schedule in 2025. Shout out to a great follow on Twitter, Yards Per Pass. If you don't follow him, make sure you do so. One of the best Bills Mafia follows on Twitter. He put this together based on all of the rumors, the leaks that have been circulating the last few days, especially today. Here it is. The mock-up of the 2025 Bills schedule. It is right in front of you, all 17 games. Take a peek. If you have not seen it yet, it goes as follows. Week 1, and your eyes don't deceive you. The Bills, home opener, season opener. Sunday night football, the last home opener at the Ralph, will be under the lights against the team the Bills bounced out of the playoffs in the AFC divisional round last year. Bills, Ravens. Sunday night football. Does it get any bigger? Does it get any better? This will be the first time the Bills have opened up the season on Sunday night football at home since 2001. I saw a clip earlier on Twitter. That game was against the Tennessee Titans, who were coming off, I believe, an AFC championship. Bills beat them by a field goal late. Nearly a quarter century since the last time the Bills have opened up at home on Sunday Night Football in week 1. Right out of the gate, man, oh man. How could you curate a better opener? Now, granted, Would I have preferred, personally, a 1 p.m. Jets opener at home? Kind of get your legs underneath of you? I would have. This is coming out real hot. You're coming out against one of the 3 teams, I'd say, in the AFC that you're vying for the Super Bowl appearance with this year. Baltimore, Kansas City, of course, Buffalo in that mix themselves. And then I want to say Cincinnati. We'll see what happens defensively. You know how much respect I have for Cincinnati. We have to see if the defense turns around earlier in the year in 2025 in order for me to give that full respect throughout the upcoming season. But this is going to set the tone right off the bat, especially with how bitter these two fan bases have been amongst one another as of late, as of the last calendar year. Ravens destroy the Bills early in the season last year, the first game after my wedding, 2 days after my wedding. And they destroy the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football, the exact place we'll be watching them on week 1, supposedly. And then, of course, we know what happened in that divisional round. The rematch likely to be week 1. And before we even move on to anything else, brother, for starters, for those listening on podcast, by the way, Rico has joined the building. My brother, so good to see you. And what I was telling the folks is one of my favorite mini holidays of the year, the NFL schedule release. You know how much I love this. I get into the weird little stuff. I'm obsessed with the schedule release because it feels real, baby. Rico, we know exactly what the season's going to be looking like after tonight.
Well, I thought this was a false leak.
Hold on, your
I
mic's
wasn't
off.
sure. I wasn't sure whether. Oh, my mic is off?
Yeah, thank God. By the way, speaking of which, last time I went live without you, I, as usual, I'm 5 minutes in before looking at the chat. Bot, your mic's off. Bot, your mic's off. So I figured I'd tell you instantly because usually I take 5 minutes. Now you sound as beautiful as you ever do. Yes.
Well, listen, I wasn't sure if this was the real leak.
Well, so I wasn't sure. It's not confirmed yet, but everyone's saying that this is about as legit as it could possibly be.
Well, so listen, how is everybody telling us this is as good as it's going to be when they don't know jack-ish?
Yeah.
How are you guys going to tell me that?
So are you telling me you want to wait until 8? Because I'm fine with that. You want to wait till it's legit?
I'd like to wait until it's legit.
Let's do it. Let's
wait until it's legit. I mean, we got some time. We got some time to kill. So, but we can chit chat about it. By the way, Sarah Christine is saying Trainwreck posted this with sponsors, so it's pretty legit.
Trainwreck posted it. We haven't posted it yet, but I saw Built in Buffalo posted it. Like I said, that leak has been so legitimized throughout the day, Rico. It feels like it's set in stone, but we'll see. We're only 20 minutes away from finding out.
Well, let's do this because this gives me an opportunity to jump in with you a little bit with what we did yesterday, and I'm curious as to now. This is off the top of your dome. This gives us enough time to kind of I don't want to say kill time, but have some content before the true actual schedule comes out. So yesterday, I went over the opponents who we're facing, and I love what you have on the bottom, sir. Sir, kudos to you. This is why I love you, man. This is why I love you. All right. So you can see on the bottom of our screen who our matchups are against, right? Obviously, we have the AFC East. We played these guys twice, so you already know it's in the books. But then you got the Texans, Panthers, Bucks, Saints, then the Falcons. Then you got the AFC North. And then you got the outliers, the AFC West and the freaking NFC East. All right. If you were to give me your top 5 intriguing opponents that we will face, whether it's a storyline that people are overlooking, it's an underrated storyline. Some might say, you know what, Eagles are the Eagles. Who cares about the Eagles? They might not want to put Eagles in the top 5 intriguing games. So if you were to take your pick of the litter here, ranking 5 to 1, your most intriguing games, and we don't know when these games, and this is what makes things more interesting. We don't know when these games are going to appear. You might say, hey, man, I really like the Atlanta Falcons game. That is a freaking and we don't know if that's going to be early, week 1, or maybe it's week, 12. So what are your thoughts looking at what you see on the bottom here? Is there anything that stands out to you? And why do you think
from 5 to 1?
5 to 1, 1 being the most important out of the 5 intriguing that you say, and 5 obviously being right on the cusp, and there's an underlying, maybe there's an underrated storyline there. You go ahead and think about that while I look at some of the super chats and comments here. Signified Note says Falcons Steelers if they get Rodgers. I don't know why I saw someone say Rodgers to the Saints. I thought that was absolutely wild. Yeah, and I was like, what? Really? Rodgers to the Saints? I didn't see that coming. So Rodgers to Steelers would be extremely intriguing. Steelers are always a fascinating game for us. So you look at that list. I'll go through the chats here. My man Brian Lucio says division games are 5. Any division games you got to put at 5 is what he's saying. Question is which matchup?
Right.
Is it the Jets? Are you feeling the Jets? And my man Walter comes in and says before I'm comfortable deciding win totals, etc., I need to see the Bills release video first. I agree. I totally agree.
Yes,
I'd like to see that. Is it going to be tonight? You think they all release them tonight?
Definitely. We'll get that tonight. We'll watch it tonight as we do every year because we got to break down whether we like it.
So Walter is asking, before we get, deciding wins and totals, I get it. We're going to go through it, but he wants to see the release video first and how we do. We'll get into that conversation too. So have you picked your 5? And if not, I'm going to keep rolling here.
No, I got 5 for sure. I will say, I don't know I don't know if I'm looking at any particular order, but I do have 5.
No order. That's fine. That's fine with me.
I will say my top 5, and I feel like it's I'm going to go with number 5. Someone said division, and I like that because you have to get a read for what your division is each year, even though we know going into it, the Bills are the overwhelming favorite. And as I've said, I'm going to be stunned if the Bills don't have this division wrapped up going into December. Personally, that's just, they had it wrapped up right before Thanksgiving last year, right around that time. I view it as the same this year. But of course, year to year,
which team? Are you going to decide which team? Okay.
So that's where I'm going. Out of these 3 teams, the New England Patriots, for me, Rico, they're the team that I look at to be within that division, a team that I think can make a noticeable step forward this year. I don't see that from the New York Jets. I don't see that from the Miami Dolphins. If anything, I've seen regression. You've seen the offseason. Miami has nothing special. Only thing of note with them really is Tyreek Hill ranking everybody in his top 5 quarterbacks outside of his quarterback. You know how I feel about the Miami Dolphins plus Josh Allen and what he's done against that team throughout his career. Absolutely. Then the New York Jets weren't able to figure it out with Rodgers. I can't anticipate them figuring it out with Justin Fields and a brand new head coach. I think the Bills are in a solid spot against those 2 teams. I think they're in a solid spot against the New England Patriots. But this is a whole new Patriots team. I think they had a really solid offseason, and they now have Mike Vrabel in there, their head coach of the future. I think the Patriots are going to turn it around quicker than many might anticipate, and I'm interested to see what that looks like against the Bills this upcoming season. So if I have to pick one out of the division, Rico, New England Patriots easily for me out of those 3 teams.
I'm going to stop you right there, and I love that you went number 5 New England Patriots because that's exactly what I said last night. The addition of Vrabel, and I think one of the underlying and interesting stories is the Drake May v. Josh Allen, right?
Sure.
And I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. Any quarterback that has got some size to him, that's got some legs to him, and can has a cannon, you're gonna compare him to Josh Allen. And Josh Allen is the standard right now for big white quarterback that's mobile and that can bring the juice onto the field. He's the standard. So right now, any quarterback that comes out, I bet you the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to talk about Will Campbell. No, not Will Campbell. Who's the quarterback that they got over there? Will Howard. I'm not sure who it is. They got a 4th round draft pick. Big boy, somewhat mobile. Boy, they're going to compare him to Josh Allen. So you and I are on the same page with 5 being the New England Patriots. Who do you have at 4? This is going to be interesting.
So number 4, give me the Cincinnati Bengals. Give me the Bengals at 4.
Now, I like that. Tell me why.
For a few reasons.
At 3. Yes.
Oh, you had him at 3, and I could easily. You could really put him at 2 if you wanted to. I think it comes down to a variety of factors, and this is why this one's intriguing to me. Let's start with the obvious. The Bills have not had success against Cincy. Cincy's had the Bills number, and when Cincy's clicking, they're one of the best teams in the league. As it is right now, they're one of the best offenses in the league. That, to me, one of the primary reasons why this game's intriguing. Not only is this a rivalry, not only is this one of the teams that's going to be vying with the Bills to the top of the AFC, not only now, but what we think to be the considerable future. But I'm dying to see this. To me, if you want an ultimate litmus test for the Buffalo Bills defense, it's the defense against Joe Burrow and this offense, who last year might have been the best in the league on any given Sunday. This offense is as good as you're going to face, and I don't think you get a better litmus test going throughout the year and into the playoffs than playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason, What's their defense going to look like after coming off an atrocious year that cost them a berth in the playoffs? Is that defense going to take a step up? If so, Cincinnati's a playoff team. I can't fathom them not. If that defense just gets marginally better, the Bengals squeak in. So what does the Bills offense look like against that defense? Is it a massive shootout where we're talking, 38-42 type game? Or is the Bills defense going to rise to the occasion and prove, hey, against one of the better offenses in the league, this Bills defense really took that step forward in 2025 that we were hoping that they would. So beyond just the rivalry there, Rico, I'm really interested to see what has Cincinnati got in 2025 because they blew it last year.
I'm so glad you said the Bengals, because I felt like the Bengals just are a thorn in our side. And until we show up to play these boys toe to toe and really bang on these boys, like, the edge sticks out to them. I mean, the Damar Hamlin game, to me, that game, they were handling us in that game. And then we have them at home in the playoff game. What a disaster of a performance. So they got 2 on us right now, it feels. And most recent, and then on top of that, you have the Bengals going to the Super Bowl. So, like, there's a lot of hanging over the Bills when it comes to the Bengals. So the Bengals at 4, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. There's something about that Bengals matchup. It's star-studded, right? Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty. You got Josh Allen on the other side. He's an MVP. There's going to be flashing lights for this game. So I love the fact that you chose the Bengals as the number 4 squad. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go to your number 3 squad. What do you got at number 3?
This might shock some people, but number 3 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Not number 1, not number 2. It's number 3. Look, we know what this rivalry is.
I need to hear this.
Yeah. We know what this rivalry is. I know the Buffalo Bills can beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. In fact, I would be willing to say that as of right now, going into the year, I would anticipate them beating them in the regular season. They've done it numerous times. They're one of the only teams in the league that's been able to do that on a consistent basis against this team. To me, it's coming to the point now where we know exactly what this game is. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter. These 2 quarterbacks are more than likely going to play fantastic. And then it's going to come down to who makes one more play and who gets it done at the end. We know exactly what this team's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to learn much other than if we see something completely unforeseen, Rico, whether the Bills destroy the Chiefs or vice versa. Unless we see that, if we see what we see year in and year out, what am I learning? Nothing. The only time I'm going to learn something from this Bills team against the Chiefs is when they finally step up and answer the call in a sudden death, a single elimination type environment. Obviously, you have to have it in the list because it is the best game of the year. I don't care who you're a fan of. Bills Chiefs is the best game of the year. But to me, it's not number 1 or number 2, but number 3, because we know exactly what this matchup is. And I don't know if we learn anything about either team, because we know if they face off in the playoffs, that's all that matters. And until we are proven that the Bills can get it done, then the regular season, to me, we're not taking a whole lot from it.
So it's funny because I had the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1. And really simply the reason I had the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1, yes, we know the regular season, the Bills have had great success over the Kansas City Chiefs. But what really matters, like we both agree on, is the playoffs. But we've gone 0-4 against these boys in the playoffs. It's there's emotional baggage attached to any time we play these Chiefs. So anytime they're on the docket, to me, it's blockbuster.
No doubt.
I love the fact that you have the number 3. This is intriguing to me. Now you've got people on the edge of their seats. So number 3, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 5, the New England Patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going down to number 3. Number 2. Who do you have at number 2, sir?
Number 2, give me the Philadelphia Eagles at number 2.
Interesting. I had the Eagles at number 2 as well.
Now,
let's go.
You could make an argument for 1 here. I don't want to let the leaks I've seen factor into this, but if the leaks are true, they got the Bills playing Philly week 17, and I don't quite understand that scheduling because there is a very likely possibility both these 2 teams have their divisions won well before week 17. There's also a possibility that the seeding might be set in stone by then. If that's the case, then this game becomes somewhat irrelevant, which to me is an atrocity because you're talking about the best team in football in Philadelphia and arguably the second, at worst, third best team in the Buffalo Bills facing off against them. So I don't understand that. We'll see in a few minutes here if that becomes reality, but let's just take it at face value for what this matchup is. And that is what I just
I'm interested that you have them at the 2 but then you said, but week 17 may not even matter. So I'm all ears.
And we'll talk about that once the schedule comes out, because if the leak is true, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about in particular, because it was interesting to me. But here's why number 2. The Philadelphia Eagles, to me, they're the best team in football. They have the best defense in football. They have the best running back in football. They have one of the best wide receiver tandems in football, the best offensive line in football, and a very serviceable top 10 quarterback coming off of a Super Bowl championship in a fashion, winning that game in a fashion that no one would have anticipated. You want to talk about litmus test? It's this. I think if the Bills reach the Super Bowl, this is who they're facing. I don't see another team in the NFC beating these guys on the road to the Super Bowl. To me, if the Bills were to make the Super Bowl, this would be a Super Bowl preview. What are the Bills going to look like against Saquon Barkley? You're talking about playing a Ravens team, who we'll talk about tonight. The Ravens, similar to the Eagles, have an incredible run game with both their quarterback and, of course, their running back coming off of an offensive player of the year in Saquon Barkley. And, of course, Derrick Henry today signing an extension. The difference is that Philly also has an extraordinary defense, probably the best in the league, and an extraordinary wide receiver tandem. Bengals don't quite have that. This is as good as it gets. This is the bar right now, I think, in the NFL. You're playing them at home. The last time these two played, it was one of the games of the year in the rain, going to overtime where the Bills lose in dramatic fashion, and we all thought the Bills were going to miss the playoffs. Remember, Rico, right when the Bills lost that game?
Absolutely.
To me, this has to be either number 1 or number 2, simply because this is the ultimate bar. I think Philly goes and tries to defend their Super Bowl title this year in the Super Bowl in 2025. What do the Bills look like against that? Because to me, no matter what goes down in that game, that's who they'll see if they make it to the pinnacle.
So interesting that you have the Eagles at 2. I had the Eagles at 2, but for obvious reasons. These guys are Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason I teetered back and forth between the Chiefs and the Eagles, obviously, you got the one that's in the AFC. They've knocked us out 4 straight times. We're destined to meet them again in the playoffs. So that's how I did. But the Eagles are just a complete team. That's what it feels like to me. So that's your measuring stick. So I love that you have the Eagles on number 2. All right. Well, you have us, intrigued with this next. I don't know where you're going with number 1, but we await your answer, sir. Floor is yours.
Number 1 is the Baltimore Ravens at home. From what we've been told, it could be the season opener, could be Sunday Night Football. The Bills-Ravens is becoming one hell of a bitter rivalry. These fan bases hate each other more than the Bills seem to hate the Kansas City fan base or any divisional fan base. I don't see Bills fans get into it with any other fan base quite like they do with the Ravens, and vice versa. All of the things that are going into this game, Rico. Josh Allen winning the MVP last year. Ravens fans, of course, feel like they got slighted. Ravens dominating the Bills in the regular season. Go to Buffalo in the divisional round. And let's be honest, they blew it. The Ravens blew it. How many opportunities in that game did they have to win it, and they fumbled it away or threw a pick or dropped it away at every turn, and the Bills moved on? The animosity is at a fever pitch. It's been growing year in and year out, it seems. It's reached the boiling point this past year, and now you're facing off in the regular season. But beyond just what the past has held, hot take, I think the 1 seed's coming down to one of these 2 teams right here, the Bills and the Ravens. And I think that the game between them in the regular season could very well end up being the difference between the 1 and the 2 seed in the AFC playoffs come the end of the year.
Fascinating that you have the Ravens. I have the Ravens at 4.
Really?
There's something about the Ravens-Bills matchup that it's always everyone's paying attention to it. But if you were to say Eagles, Chiefs, Cincy, you're taking those 3 before you're taking the Ravens, because it's just, you got Joe Burrow, and you know what? And Lamar Jackson's a 2-time freaking MVP. How could you not? But I love the fact that you went Ravens, because there is a bitterness towards Bills fans from Ravens. We've knocked them out, right? It's always Josh Allen. It's always Josh Allen, right? Where's my guy? And now you got Josh Allen winning the MVP over the Lamar Jackson, where they felt he was a pure, clear-cut winner. Oh, they're pissed. And they want to prove it to the world, right? Here's the deal with me. You prove it to the world, and it's no different than the Bills Chiefs. Regular season, yip hip, hooray. But when we come to the playoffs, You ain't do diddly squat. That's the Ravens v Bills. So it's fascinating that you have the way you have it planned out. But I like it. I like it a lot. So let's recap what my guy Bot said. Bot says I got Patriots number 5, Bengals 4. You got the Kansas City Chiefs at 3, Eagles 2, and the good old Ravens at 1. Most intriguing game coming up this season is the Bills Ravens for my guy Bot. I like it. In contrast, I had Patriots 5, Ravens 4, Bengals 3, Eagles, and then Chiefs. Oh, this is gonna be fun. And I'm glad that we brought this up because this allows us to anticipate this schedule even more. And if this schedule is not accurate, the one that you showed, I'm more intrigued as to what it is. And I'm even more intrigued to see what kind of video they're going to put out. Please entertain me, Bills media. Do not give me the nonsense you gave me last year because I think I was overboard last year. But then when I revisit what that was, I'm still not impressed. Still not impressed. So is there any anticipation as to what angle they take and where they go with the video?
I'm dying to see. From what I could tell, based on what they posted yesterday, there was a shot of Josh Allen shooting a basketball into a hoop, and then it cut to say schedule release tomorrow. So it looks like it's going to be another skit with Allen. What's that going to look like? I love these, though. The Chargers always do an incredible one. Everyone seems to have a really unique take on it each year. So as long as look at if I can get a laugh out of it this year and it's entertaining, that's all I'm asking for. Well, but speaking of entertainment, Rico,
this just in. It's in.
It's in.
Schedule is out.
It's in.
You ready to have a look here?
Do you want to look at it? Do you want me to look at it?
Let me see. I want to try to get it where it can fill the screen. Let me see if I can, because it's gonna be one of those skinny versions. I want to try to zoom it in.
By the way, that leak was 100% accurate.
Accurate,
which is crazy. I was saying before you hopped on, every year it feels like even last year it wasn't dead on until we got to the official one. It feels like every year it gets a little more legit. I wonder if this is what we should expect from now on, just knowing it way ahead of time.
Well, listen, this is what it's looking like, though. I'm just gonna try to get this screenshotted well, and then we can talk about it. So you can start going through the list here. I'm gonna try to get it on our screen in just a moment.
By the way, shout out to everyone in here. Nearly 1,500 of you joining us as we reveal the 2025 Buffalo Bills schedule. Appreciate each and every one of you, and you're going to want to stick around all night because we're going to predict each and every game, and that, of course, is going to be our record prediction, what we think is going to happen in each game, what the stats might look like for J.A., James Cook and company. So we appreciate everyone tuning in. It's going to be a fun night.
It is absolutely going to be a fun night. So all right, let's see what we got here. Schedules here. Let me see if we can load that up and have a look-see. It's loading up as we speak. Let's see if I got it down pat. Do you want to do it like this, or is that good enough, or would you rather be?
Let me see. What if I do it like this so we can at least?
You know what? That's actually not bad. Actually, that view is actually not bad.
Let me see if I can. I can make it a little bit bigger.
You can zoom it in. That'd be amazing. Twitter's being a hater.
It always is.
Yeah.
Now that's too much.
Oh, wait a minute. We're on to something.
Hold on.
Go bot.
This thing's bugging out on me.
So as Bot is figuring this out, I don't know how I feel about
how about that?
Week 1 Ravens.
All right. Is that look good? Is that looking good to you?
You know what? It's as good as it's gonna get. And are you guys satisfied with what you see on the screen here? If it is,
it's going to be up for a while. So let us know. Let us know if that looks good to you.
Ravens week 1.
Oh, baby.
Ravens
week
1. Oh, baby.
All right.
All right. What are your thoughts?
Let's dive into it. So the season kicks off September 7th, Sunday night football under the lights. For the final home opener at the Ralph. By the way, shout out to the farewell season patch that the Bills put together. I think it looks great. I was hoping they were going to do something like this, and they did. I love it. Wow. So many thoughts linking back to what I was just talking about when I ranked the Ravens number 1 here. It's all of those things we just talked about, Rico, heading into the first game of the year. And, we look back last year, and even 2 years ago, it's Bills Jets. The Bills all the hype around Aaron Rodgers. Of course, he blows his leg out 3 plays in. The Bills lose to Zach Wilson, and you're like, what the hell's going on here? Other than the Aaron Rodgers factor there, Rico, it wasn't like this crazy game, right? It was just a division rival that happened to have Aaron Rodgers. That's why it was a massive spectacle, and it was on Monday Night Football. Then last year, it was a 1 p.m. window game against an Arizona Cardinals team that's kind of a middle-of-the-pack type team in this league. This is as big as it can possibly get to open up the season. It's the Sunday Night Football game, which, of course, is the game of the week. It's at home, the last home opener ever in this stadium, and it's against the team that you bounced out of the playoffs last year. It's against the team that feels like they were robbed of the MVP because the Bills quarterback was the one to win it. It's the team that fan base hates our fan base more than anybody. It does not get bigger than this, Rico, and I think it really sets the stage for a full season ahead. I mean, this is a massive week 1 game.
It absolutely does. And I love the fact that they had the Ravens face the Bills early last year, because the rest of the season, it was just, is a teeter-totter. It was up and down. Okay, so what are the Ravens doing? Okay, what are the Bills doing? Okay, the Chiefs are still winning. What's going on? And all the Ravens talked about is, we spanked your ass at the beginning of the season. Y'all need to pipe down. Oh, you guys got the MVP. Did you not see what Lamar Jackson did to your team? We spanked y'all. Now, put it all to bed. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's here. Let's go. Week 1, Sunday Night Football. Bro, records are going to be broken. Viewership is going to go through the roof. You got newly fresh MVP versus 2-time MVP. Oh, Lamar Jackson. And you know Lamar Jackson was pissed last year. He was livid. And then let's factor this in. Malachi Starks.
Oh, that's right.
Big business.
Terrific point.
So you wanted it. You got it at home against the Bills. Boy, let's go. I like it. I like it. Listen, put up or shut up. This is it. The NFL has spoken. And the fans have spoken. And you got 2 fan bases that are just like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of y'all. Let's roll. And then you got a newly freshly paid King Henry on top of that. And then you got the petty, and I don't care what anyone wants to tell me, the petty James Cook saying, congratulations. Ooh, I see it. We see it. I know Brandon Beane sees it. This is going to be intriguing.
I don't know why James Cook would care much about that, because that deal for Henry comes out to about $12.5 million per year, and that ain't what James Cook wants.
James Cook is just looking at the RB got paid, so he's like, "Hey, congratulations! I'm hoping I get mine next year." And if Brandon Beane is a man of his word, and he wants to bring him back, they're going to have to figure some things out. So guess what? James Cook has to have a massive year. And then he'll have every ounce of power to stand on his business and say, pay me what I'm owed. Pay me what I'm worth. Let's do it right now. Ravens, Bills, week 1, at home, Sunday Night Football. I like it. I like it a lot. Listen, how are you guys liking this? Do we like the Ravens first up at bat versus the Bills? Do we like that? Are we a fan of this? Let me know. I'm actually excited to get Maxwell Hairston out there.
Oh, I can't.
Landon Jackson out there.
Get him out.
Christian, bring him out. Bring him out.
Come
I like
on.
it. I'm a big fan.
Before we even continue, because obviously we got a lot to talk about this evening. Walt is coming in, and he's saying that the schedule release video is out. And he's saying it's actually good. So I say, before we even go further, let's watch. Now, Rico, you got to cue it up, because you know my audio never plays.
I got you.
But before we even dive into the other 16 games, let's take a peek at what the Bills media team put together for us here for this year's schedule release.
Oh, baby. Okay, let me share my screen here.
Hi, sweetheart.
And
Caroline's home just in time.
I'm already a fan of it because Brandon Beane's in it. Hey, there's my girl
Beane's in it. Caroline's here just in time for the schedule release.
All right.
Bills Jets week 2, by the way.
Rico.
You better start stretching.
Week 2 is not.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Zach, I need you to get out of your actually, I'll share my own screen.
Yeah, do it.
All right. So I already see Brandon Beane's in the picture. I'm already a big fan. This is it's intriguing to me. And
there's those
get it rolling here.
basketballs.
All right. Are we ready? Are we good to go?
Rip it.
Here we go.
Yeah, Bean, what's up? I'm a little busy here.
What's up, dude? Real quick, schedule release video. You got anything for me?
I mean, just use AI.
AI.
That's what everybody's doing.
Let me see what I can do.
Yeah, that'll be easy. I mean, just use AI.
AI.
Yeah, that'll be easy. Just use AI.
AI.
Allen Iverson.
AI. Thanks for doing this today.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there he is. How about?
We do want you to
Come
reveal
on.
the Buffalo Bills 2025 schedule.
Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. Josh actually sent us to shoot with you.
Wow. MVP Josh Allen. That's something for me to brag about.
He said he wanted to use AI.
Use AI or the real AI?
You're the only AI I know, dude.
Okay, so we got the real deal. Let's do it then. Here's the schedule. That was the 2025 Buffalo Bills schedule presented by the answer, Allen Iverson.
One last thing. Can I get a go Bills?
Go Josh Allen.
You know what?
All right.
Yo, did you figure out how to use AI?
Yeah, I got him.
All right. I'll get listen, I'll give it to him. Now, I know some folks are like, weak. They don't like it. Listen, let's dive into it. Bot, talk to me.
Yeah.
First and foremost, your thoughts. The schedule video. What's up?
Well, for starters, better than last year, for sure.
Yes. Agreed.
So there's something to be said. Okay, some of these teams go crazy all out with it. It just feels like the Bills, that's not really in their bag. That's not what they've done. Some other teams are known for that. If you're going to put together a nice, quick, funny video to release the schedule, I think they just nailed it. It was like a minute and a half. It was funny. It was unexpected. It was quick. And it was relevant to the times. I liked it. I thought for what it was, if you're looking at it through the lens, not comparing it to anybody else's, like, because I'm sure the Chargers are going to get their animation team out and they pretty much hire Pixar to do it, it seems like. I thought that was, for a nice, short, quick, funny way to release the schedule, I like that. I liked it a lot.
I'm going to agree with you. It got your attention. Just use AI. And it had you saying, not Allen Iverson. And then boom. So our mind is going, okay, so what potentially could they use for AI? And then boom, love it. And the fact that you got celebrity AI in the building, and you know he's not a Bills fan. He can't say go Bills like Josh Allen. Bro, that just shows you how big a star Josh Allen is.
Yeah.
Listen, it only had Bean, Allen, Dawkins. Was that Joe Brady on the bottom? I don't know if that was Joe Brady. It was just a random.
I couldn't tell. I was thinking the same thing.
Right? That's it. That's all you needed. They kept it under the budget. I mean, the budget was probably AI. That was the budget. However,
Yes.
It was simple, to the point, and oh, by the way, here's the schedule. Because it's also a shot at, bro, y'all hated when we went all elaborate last year with showing you the schedule. You guys hated it. And we probably put a lot of resources into doing that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's keep it simple, keep it cool. And I was actually on the edge of my seat a little bit. I was like, okay, what's going to happen next? Now, what would have been super dope is if they went into, okay, here's the schedule, a little more graphics, a little bit of, whichever. If they added a little bit more, that I would have been over the moon. But I'm absolutely okay with how they did this one. To the point, here it is. Let's go. I mean, I don't mind it. And right now, it seems as though the chat is feeling the same way. There's very little pushback as to I didn't think I liked that, but I'm a big fan. I like it. Well done, Bills. You had me chuckling a little bit. I like Brandon Bean, jumping in there and getting his acting chops in there. I love it. And maybe Haley Steinfeld is getting Josh Allen some pointers as well. I don't know, just use AI. It was natural. Just a natural human being, Josh Allen. I love it. Now,
I love when he was like, by the way, he's like MVP Josh Allen. You never get sick of hearing that. You don't get sick of hearing that.
You don't.
Speaking of which, by the way, speaking of Hollywood, you mentioned he's Hollywood now.
Oh,
what was up with the whole Today Show thing this past week, where he was on, then he wasn't on, and then he was on it? What was up with that?
I don't know anything about this Today Show, so you'll have to feed me more information on this Today Show. What's the deal? What was the controversy per se?
There was a leak he was going to be on it Monday, and then he wasn't on it Monday, and then there was a rumor that he was going to be on it Wednesday. Then the rumor became fact. The Today Show tweeted it out. Josh Allen will be with us Wednesday morning. Then all of a sudden, like late Tuesday night, NBC affiliates and the Today Show accounts all deleted the tweets mentioning him, and it never happened and it got canceled. I don't know. It was odd. It was like 3 straight days of, oh, he's going to be on, he's not going to be on, he's going to be on it. Then he really was going to be on it, and then he wasn't on it. I have no idea.
I bet you it makes producers just super pissed because you're like, hey, like, I don't have time to like find another guest to go on, and we finally got Josh Allen, bro. It goes to tell you, this guy is a very coveted individual. Like, it's hard to get a hold of Josh Allen. Listen, you were that close to sitting with Josh Allen, and then the rug got pulled under your rig. If you guys don't know, Z-Bot was just about to sit with Josh Allen. Interview Josh Allen. Josh Allen sitting at the table. Z-Bot's getting ready to get his microphone all propped up, ready to go. Josh gets a whisper in his ear. Hey, you got to go, bro. Can't do this. Z-Bot sitting there like, what just happened? It's that close. Look at, he just did it to the Today Show. So don't be mad, Z-Bot. Don't be upset.
Well, it's happened to you and I at the same time too before. But that was the only time where it was ever seemingly going to happen. But I'll tell you one thing. I've never been happier than to not have the ability to sit down with him, because me not having the ability to sit down with him means he is I'm talking atmospheric way out of the reach of me being able to sit down with him ever again until long after he's retired. So if it could ever culminate into something, the fact that it culminated into what it did, I couldn't be happier about it, because that means Josh Allen has ascended into A-list superstardom, which I love. We've been waiting for that forever. I've been waiting for that my entire life.
Let me tell you two funny stories. Well, one funny story, but so Bot and I went to visit. We went to do a spot for the West Tour, and all the Bills fans were there, and it was on the schedule. You will sit with Josh Allen. It's on the schedule. And it just never happened. We're lugging stuff around and moving things around, and we just never got our shot. Anyway, so at the time, his lady at the time, I was on the field. I'm wheeling and dealing, do what I do, and we're walking right by each other, and his lady was like, Josh, Rico's here. He's here to see you. He's like, oh, he comes back, daps me up. I'm thinking, okay, this dap is solidified. Once you lock this sucker in, that's your word. He goes, yeah, we'll catch each other at the other spot. Here, me and Z-Bot lugging tables and stuff and so on and so forth. We get to the next location, no dice. We're watching him. He's right there. It's no dice. He's a coveted individual. Here's another one. We're at another West Tour. But I don't know if I told you this. You were there, or maybe you weren't there. I don't know. I'm sitting here. We're waiting for Allen to come sit with us. And I think he was busy, and he came to get wings and pizza and all that stuff.
No, this was the last one. This was the last one. Yeah,
he's by himself.
Yeah,
by himself. And our table's set up. But before he went to the table, I happened to be talking to this man that had a fascinating story about surgery and a brain surgery and how he's here. And he's giving me this. He's pouring his heart out to me. And Josh is sitting right there. I could literally say, bro, move up the way. I need to go see Josh, right? Couldn't. So this guy, he finished his story. As soon as he finished his story, Josh was gone. I was like, that was our opportunity. Things happen for a reason. He's a coveted man, so Today Show, so be it.
No, you're right. And Walt's putting it perfectly. He's saying we saw in person just how Allen is one of the most evasive quarterbacks in the league. I had never in my life seen somebody who had somebody. We've told this story before, but like I've never seen anybody have like it was necessary. You have people telling you where to go and what to do, because if you don't, you're never going to get from point A to point B. That's how big of a star he is. And I equated that to like, I'm imagining this is what the Leonardo DiCaprios of the world and the Mark Wahlbergs of the world, this is their day-to-day life. Like Allen cannot go anywhere without someone looking out for him and getting him from point A to point B, because that's the type of star he is. He'll just never get to point B because everyone's going to want to sit and talk with him or get a picture or whatever.
It's
crazy.
crazy. It's gotta be exhausting. It's gotta be exhausting. Don't know how he does it.
Especially in Buffalo, too. It's not like you're in LA or New York City, man. You're in Buffalo, right? I mean,
Buddy.
you imagine you're just at Wegmans and Josh Allen's in the cereal aisle. Like, you can't do it. It's just not,
and then,
you can't do it.
And then on top of that, you don't want to be thirsty. Hey, Mr. Josh Allen, you don't want to be that thirsty guy. Especially if you're 17, 18, 19, cool, you can do it. You're a grown-ass man. Hey, Josh, can you? I mean, you just got to do some sense of dignity that you have to have at the same time. But then you're a fanboy at the same time. What do you do?
Of course.
What do you do? You're stuck. Rocking a hard place. Rocking a hard place.
All right, so we liked the video. That was good. Shout out to Allen Iverson. That was unique. That was cool. Got a laugh out of me. Liked it a lot. All right, let's get back to brass tacks here, Rico. Let's get into it here. So
we're on what, week 2? So we got through week 1. Ravens. We got that. It's gonna be exciting. We know what's gonna be, and then the schedule makers decide to throw in the AFC East right off the rip, and it's the New York Football Jets. This time, it's the Jets. What are they at home? We're at the Jets. We're on the road. We're on the road to the Jets. Who knows who their quarterback's going to be? Is it going to be Tyrod Taylor? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Who knows? New coach, new head coach, Aaron Glenn, new regime out there. Who knows what's going to take place? How do you feel about this AFC East matchup, week 2 in the books after a huge AFC conference game with the Bills and Baltimore Ravens?
So this is interesting because you have 3 divisional games within 4 weeks, right? And this is your first road game. What did the Jets look like? The Jets have had a quiet offseason, right? Especially compared to what we've been used to the last several years with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. So we don't really know much about the Jets right now, but I think that we can discern that the Jets are just, a middle of the pack at best. Yeah, they're in a transition right now, not only at the quarterback position, but in a variety of spots. And of course, new head coach. And it's going to take some time for the Jets to get things underneath of them, if at all, this upcoming season. And I'm sure they're not excited about seeing the Bills coming to town in week 2. I got to tell you, Rico, I'm looking at the stretch between week 2 all the way up to week 7 at the bye, which we'll talk about in a sec, because that is an early bye. Yep. I mean, you give me the argument as to where you see them being any worse than 6-1 going into the bye, because I could not think of a more favorable start to the year than the Bills have all the way up until mid-October. That to me is a 6-1 schedule at worst going into the bye week.
Well, you have it as 6-1. Where's that?
So the loss.
We're not going to get into that just yet.
We'll get into that in a minute. No, we'll get into that after we go through the whole schedule. But just at first glance here, man, I mean, but let's just put it this way. The Bills will be favored in every single one of those games, and they will be a massive favorite in probably, so that would be 5-1 because it's 6 games. They'll be a massive favorite in 5 of those 6 games.
So what's a massive line where it's like, whoa, really? Like 14 to me is high. It's not going to be as high as 14.
It could be against the Saints in week 4 at home. They could easily be they'll be a double-digit favorite in that game against the Saints.
Interesting.
Against the Patriots at home, they'll be a touchdown favorite. They'll be probably a 4 or 5 point favorite against Miami. On the road against the Jets, I bet you they're a 6-7 point favorite. And then on the road at Atlanta, I bet you they're probably a 5 or 6 point favorite as well. Opening the season, I haven't seen the lines yet, but I bet you they're probably a 1 to 2 point favorite against Baltimore.
I kind of like it. Well, listen, let's go with the Jets. To me, the Jets, it's they're in transition. Like you said earlier, they're in transition. I think this is one of those games where, however the Bills-Ravens game goes, momentum has to be 2 ways. If they lose that game, you got to bounce back early. I hate early games like this because you fall to 0-2 no matter who you are. It's a hole. It's a hole that you don't want to be in. I hate the beginning of seasons. It's just one of those things where you can't get yourself into a hole. Ask the Cincinnati Bengals. They dug themselves an early hole, and it was hell getting out of that hole. And essentially, they buried themselves because they didn't make the playoffs. So you've got to be able to come out punching and making sure that you handle your business. So I like the Jets matchup. I think whether we win or lose that Baltimore Ravens game, they've got to bounce. They've got to, if they win this one, keep the momentum going. This is a division foe. Get on their ass and get that. So that Jets game is going to be intriguing, but I think that we prevail. But I like that they sent us the Jets early. We get to feel what Justin Fields is really about. I don't think he's that great. I think that he's going to be Justin Fields. That's just what it comes down to. But week 2 in the books, I like it. I don't mind that at all. Jets, and then they give us Miami right after that. Now, what are your thoughts on the Miami?
At home, Thursday night football. Another primetime game, Rico. The last time the Bills played Miami in primetime, Taylor Rapp sealed the deal on the division 2 years ago. Sunday night football, final game of the year. Tua picked off by Taylor Rapp, and that was a wrap on the division.
Yep.
Miami Bills got a run for their money last year. And, it came down to that 60-yard Tyler Bass field goal to win it the last time they played these Dolphins.
Crazy.
They always, for the most part, I can't say always, but, it feels like at least one of the 2 times per year, they're going to give the Bills all they can handle. But it's at home. It's Thursday night. I mean, you know how I feel about that. At home against Miami under the lights, Josh Allen versus Tua, where I'm leaning on that one. But interesting that's a Thursday nighter, and it's the second of 3 divisional games within 4 days. And yeah, it's at home. That starts a 3-game stretch, Rico, all at home.
All at home. So we got Miami week 3. Then week 4, they send us the Saints. And the Saints, Derek Carr retiring. They're going to start a rookie quarterback potentially. I'm not saying this should be a win, but I can't see how this is a loss. Let's just put it that way. Saints week 4 home, and we'll take that home game. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go to week 5. This is interesting. Sunday night football, Bills home against the Patriots. And this is that game that you said was intriguing to you. And what a time to put it. 5th game. This is where teams start to kind of really find their footing, trying to, figure out who their quarterback is. Drake May. Is Drake May fitting with Diggs? Does Vrabel have the team's attention? Where are they at in this? Are they an 0-4 team at this point? Or are they a 4-0 team? Right? Are they middle of the pack? This is going to be interesting. What say you on this newly coached Vrabel team? Diggs, they had a great draft. They had a great offseason. On paper, this could be one of those sneaky, I don't want to say it, dare I say it, but I will. This is one of those sneaky trap games that it seems early, but this is about the right time to fall into a trap of the media's be pumping the Bills and the Bills should win this and that. And then all of a sudden Vrabel comes in and says, I know everything about McDermott and this team. I know how to do this. Let's roll. What are your thoughts on that game?
By the way, this will be one of 3 primetime games within a 4-week window. So
Crazy.
Much like last year, the Bills are starting off in primetime early and often, and then you don't see them in primetime again until week 12, and that's the last time they'll be in primetime the rest of the year. So that's an interesting point. Sunday night football, I'm not sure why this is a Sunday night football game. I could see this one being a Monday nighter. Mm-hmm. Sunday night is always supposed to be or feel or have an argument for being the best game of the weekend. I haven't obviously looked at all the other schedules, but I don't know if Bills Patriots is anybody's circled game for a Sunday night matchup. But back to the point I was making earlier, why they made my top 5 most intriguing game list. Because this is a new era for the Patriots. You got Drake May going into his 2nd year. They've had a great offseason in terms of trying to build around him. And then, of course, Mike Vrabel taking over. So it is a different Patriots team. And I think that's probably why the league is leaning into that. Put Drake May on a national stage against a team that will draw numbers. We're going to get our first look at what this new era of New England's going to be. Obviously, it's going to continue to evolve, but this is going to be the Bills' first taste of it, and it's going to be under the bright lights of Sunday night football. So, in terms of me thinking that game was, top 5 worthy as far as intrigue, I guess it does add another element, Rico, that it is a primetime game, and there'll be hype surrounding it being the primary game on Sunday. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the new wave of New England looks like here. And as I've said throughout the offseason, I think New England's going to finish 2nd in the AFC East, and we'll see if they kind of bring that type of gusto in week 5 against the team that they'll be looking up at for a while here and trying to pass.
I think you and I share the same sentiments. I have a ton of respect for the Patriots. I thought them finding their footing last year. They did have some moments where they looked good. And you can see that this is a team on the rise. So loving the fact that Vrabel, a established coach, a smart coach, is leading these guys, and they did a great job in free agency. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this one. This one's going to be it's a sneaky game, and I like the fact that it's in prime time. I'm a big fan of this. I like the fact that it's in prime time. Let's see what these boys are made of. It'll be interesting to go up against the big juggernaut in the Buffalo Bills. Let's go to week 6, Monday Night Football again.
A doubleheader, it looks like, by the way.
It seems like this one's a doubleheader.
Yeah.
So this might be the early matchup. It's the Bills v. Atlanta in Atlanta. What are your thoughts? Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. They got some boys out there now, and they shored up on their defense. They went double edge. Double edge. I think they went linebacker and defensive end on the defensive side of the ball in the draft. So this is interesting. What are your thoughts on this game here?
Yeah, they gave up that capital with the to the LA Rams, gave up next year's first round pick. So, massive moving of the chairs around the table during the offseason here, in particular the draft for Atlanta. And now Michael Penix will get his first full year as a starter. I would have loved to have seen the conversation surrounding why this game is a Monday Night Football game. I don't quite get it. Bills at Atlanta. There's no history there. There's no way there's an argument for that being the game of the week. Maybe once again, they want to give every team a primetime game. And Penix, of course, is intriguing. Atlanta wasn't awful last year. They were 8-9. They were, close to winning that division with as poor as that division is. They were close to winning it. The Tampa Bay wound up pulling it out in the end, but they're not a bad team. They're the equivalent, Rico, to me, of what last year was week 1 against Arizona, where you just don't quite know what Atlanta is. I feel like on any given week, they could be a really tough out. And then on another week, they could be a team you steamroll. But it's in Atlanta. Someone made this point to me on Twitter earlier that I thought was a great one. It's in a dome. So you're going to get Monday Night Football, Josh Allen in a dome, which... Dangerous. I mean, I don't care who they're playing. That's must-see TV.
Josh Allen in the dome, James Cook in the dome. Oh, yeah.
So in terms of this one on paper, this isn't a game that stands out to me like crazy or one of the ones I circled. That's why the Monday night element is interesting to me. But I think the Bills are, of course, the superior team here. And I could see in the dome, under the lights, Josh Allen having his way with Atlanta in that game.
This is one of those interesting ones. If we don't tackle, we can be in big trouble. I don't care what anybody tells me. Bijan Robinson is nasty, and let's not forget they got who's their second quarter, the second running back. His name's not coming to me right now, but it's a 1-2 punch out there with those two boys. Either way, we shored up the defensive front. This should be. I mean, Michael Penix going into his first full year as a starter. He's going to take his lumps, and this Bills defense, I think, will be ready for the challenge. I think this is one of those games that the Bills they absolutely take. On the road, not on the road, it don't matter. I think the Bills take this one, but we'll get into the early onset of where we think Tyler Algier. Thank you very much. So this is where the early onset of games come in. So right now we're just discussing the matchup, when this matchup is, and how it could serve towards the Bills and how it's going to alter the Bills the way they play. So to me, I don't mind the Falcons this early, get it off the schedule, and hopefully we can get away with a dub and then roll right into the bye week. So I kind of like it in that regards, right? You get what should be a win, head into the bye week, and then you come back against Carolina, tune up. I don't want to disrespect Carolina like that, but tune up game after the bye, and then Kansas City.
Let's talk bye week, though, real quick, because the Bills are sandwiched in between the bye week. They have 2 NFC South games, 2 very winnable games, 2 games on the road against NFC South opponents, 2 teams they'll be heavily favored in. But let's talk about the location of that week 7 bye, because last year the Bills had a week 12 bye.
I love that week 12 bye.
Oh. Right. I don't think you could get a better bye, really, than week 12, right? Because it's right at the point where it feels like you really need the rest, right? Going into that final stretch of the year, going into December, and then, of course, the playoffs. This is early. This bye week will be October 20th. So the Bills will only have 6 games under their belt. Like I mentioned earlier, 5 of those 6 games, to me, are going to be against probably non-playoff teams or teams that are going to be, begging to get in a wild card spot at the end of the year. The one interesting note, though, Rico, is the Bills do have a couple of players suspended early in the year. So they'll be eligible to come off of the bye week ready to rock without having to go through a crazy tough schedule prior to getting into that bye week. So what do you think about the week 7 location of the bye?
Great point. It's like the league new. You know, and give these guys, they got 2 big time players that could really impact their defense on suspension. Get them back in the rotation by week. They'll be fresh, ready to go. Tune-up game, Carolina, and then I kind of would rather a late bye. This seems super early for the Bills. It's a long season, and you kind of understand why Brandon Beane loads up on defensive the trenches. It's a long season. These guys drop like flies, so I need guys ready to roll. So it kind of makes you put your mind where Brandon Beane's mind is. It's a long season. I need these guys fresh, ready to go and get after it. So listen, week 7 bye early, but I mean, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. Can't have it all. Can't have it all. They say that we have the 5th easiest schedule, so can't have it all.
You really can. And we'll talk later more about this schedule in particular, because I went through and kind of looked at the ins and outs of it, and it's incredible how favorable this schedule is for Buffalo, to the point where there is just absolutely no excuse this season. And you're seeing it right in front of you here. I mean, this start to the year going into that bye, for a team that's the caliber in which the Buffalo Bills currently are, I just don't see how you could have a more favorable start. I mean, you have 4 games of the 6 at home, and the 2 on the road are going to be teams that have sub 8 win over under projections. So you go into that bye. Yes, it is early, but you are going to get Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi back ready to rock off of that bye. And then you said going into Carolina as a tune-up. It's hard. You don't want to say tune-up in any situation, but then again, Rico, they were 5-12 last year. Yes, Bryce Young started to come along towards the end of the year, but once again, we're talking about the top of the league and a team that's trying to get out from the basement, and that's who the Bills are going to have 2 weeks to prepare for. The only thing you worry about maybe potentially there, Rico, overlooking Carolina because you know who's coming around the bend, and that's the Chiefs in week 9, excuse me.
You have a valid point. You never want to overlook anybody, especially with Bryce Young, how he was willing and dealing last year. So they've added some offensive pieces for him in this draft. They shored up the defense. They went defense and on the defensive edge. So you never want to dismiss a team, but you also have to remind yourself who the Buffalo Bills are. Yo, we're a juggernaut team. You wouldn't dare say the Eagles, they're going against the Panthers. You're going to be like, man, watch that. But then you had the Chiefs play the Panthers last year, and it was a fight to the end. So you just never know in this game. You just never know in this game, but it should be the Bills walking over the Panthers. It's just the talent is not the same. It's not the same. It's just what it is at the end of the day. It comes down to it. So I'm a big fan of what I've seen so far. So where we at? What week are we at? We're at
So now we're heading into week 9 at home, 4:25 p.m. I would imagine Jim Nantz and Romo on the call for the game of the weekend. KC comes to town against the Bills in Buffalo. Talk to me, Rico. Week 9 placement for this game. It's right around where it was at last year. What are your thoughts on kind of where this is located?
This is about right. This is where you want to put both these teams, because at this point, teams that they've figured out their identity. So now it's about fine tuning at this point. After the bye for the Bills, we're so like at this point we'll know who's doing what and what they're about. And the same for the Chiefs, right? They have a lot of guys coming back, so they should be in full stride. So why not have these guys face each other off, where now you found your identity, you two, and this is going to be something to give the fans something to watch. And it's always fire. And I'm curious to see who else plays on this week, if there's big time matchups like this, but I can't see them trying to outshine the Bills with a big time matchup. This is the matchup of that week, and it's going to be it's going to be fireworks, as it always is. Now, here's where I have come. Whether the Bills win or whether the Bills lose is one. I think I felt this way last year, where I was like, I could care less if they win or lose. I would want to win, obviously, but it's all about when we play them in the playoffs. Win, lose, draw, I don't care. Playoffs is when it really does matter. So Am I anticipating that game? Yes. Do I want the Bills to win? Of course. Can I not stand the Chiefs? That is correct. But at the same time, if they lose, we'll still see you again. We will see you again. So I understand why you had the Chiefs as your number 3 team. I totally get it. So to me, I like where they have it. I think this is where people start to find their strides. And I think this is going to be a great matchup, a great clash for the Bills v. Chiefs. Your thoughts?
I read in the chat the Chiefs have a week 10 bye. So this will be the game prior to the bye for the Chiefs, their final game before heading into the bye. Bills, of course. Yeah, I forgot who saw it, but thanks to whoever put that out there. So that this will be the last game for the Chiefs prior to their bye. Of course, the Bills will be coming right off of that bye after that Carolina game. This is where they're at. So here's where I got to take a peek. Let me pull up, or if anybody knows, or we'll look at it later, what the Chiefs' schedule is looking like going into week 9 here. Because once again, and man,
that's a good one.
Because I hope this isn't a foot in mouth type moment here, but I just, in what world do the Bills have more than 2 losses on their schedule heading into this KC game? And then, in terms of what does KC's schedule look like? Not that it matters, because we know they beat just about everybody, but you're noticing on this schedule, when you touch down on week 9 and then you look over to the right side of your screen here on that right side column of the schedule, this is when the heat starts to turn up, starting at KC. Then you're going on a run here of potentially playoff team after playoff team after playoff team here, all the way up until about Cleveland. Obviously, we got to see what New England and Miami are going to do. But those other teams on that list, I know Cincinnati didn't make the playoffs, but we still know that's a playoff type game. This is really going to set the tone for the second half of the year here, Rico, in that Kansas City game. So not only do you get the game of the week, the game of the year almost always, but you really launch pad into a real difficult second half of the year in comparison to the first half, for sure.
No, there's no question about it. So this is why I find it fascinating, those that or the people that are responsible for creating these schedules, because there's storylines they have to pay attention to. You probably saw the same thing I saw, where one of the schedule makers asked a question about, we don't know if this team is going to be active at this quarterback position. So like this matchup means something. So meaning there was a team that was looking at a big time quarterback and they weren't sure if this team was going to do something. And I guess somebody gave them a hint that, yeah, they're going to be active trying to do something at that quarterback position. So if you're going to schedule them here, because it should be a good matchup. So they're looking to see what's a good matchup. And then the logistics have to play a part. I do not envy a schedule maker.
Oh my God,
so much that you have to factor in travel time, how often this person is traveling, or this team is traveling. I don't know, like the bye week. Is it too early for a bye week? When's this team getting a bye week? Listen, the amount of things that they have to go through, I do not envy them, but they earn their money. They absolutely earn their money. By the time this is a Super Bowl, by the time they're done and they press send, what you're spent, man. Like you're like,
I mean, yeah, they got to have vacations booked for this week. That whole team, right? I'm with you 100%. That's one of the last jobs on the planet that I would want, because it involves a ton of like statistics, right? Because you have 32 teams and everything needs to equal out based on the division, based on the opponents that the opponents that you're set in stone to place based on the way you finished last year. Everybody has to have a set amount of home and away games. You factor in the primetime games, the bye week. There's a million variables, man. Just knowing how I am at like algebra and whatnot, oh my God, this would be on the bottom of the list of jobs that I'd want to be in charge of for sure.
brutal job to have. By the way, appreciate Mr. Clayton. What's going on, Mr. C? He goes, Kansas City's schedule is going to the Bills is brutal. Eagles, Ravens, Commanders, Chargers, Lions, all before Buffalo.
Damn.
That's just mean.
Damn.
That's just brutal. Bro, Eagles, Ravens, Commanders, Chargers, Lions.
We'll take a look at their schedule because we got to talk about their schedule, Rico. Their schedule is insane. What they're doing to them this year. I can't even get over what they're doing to them.
I mean, don't forget, 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago or the year before?
It was last year.
We had a brutal schedule.
Oh, 2 years ago. Us, you're talking about. Yeah, yes.
So, I mean, do I feel bad? No.
I can't lie to you. I kind of, not that I feel bad. I'll never feel bad for them, but they're playing week 1 in Brazil. They're playing Thanksgiving Day, and they're playing Christmas Day. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it. Patrick Mahomes isn't going to have a Christmas morning with his kids until they're in college. It's crazy what they're doing in this team. But hey, listen,
You're not even wrong with that, too.
not my problem. Not my problem. All right, let's move on to the second half here, Rico. So we got the left side column done. After KC, it's on the road to Miami. Now, one thing that sticks out here to me, after all those complaints of the Bills having to play in the just dead heat of Miami early in the year, and then of course the Dolphins having to play in the dead of winter late in the year, you notice that they've been real keen on making sure both teams dodge those bullets. So you have Miami coming to the Bills in mid-September, the Bills going to Miami in early November. So the weather shouldn't be a factor here. But 1 p.m. on the road at Miami here. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but does anything stand out to you in the second matchup against Miami?
It's too hard to tell, but I can't. The Miami Dolphins, you don't got a corner. Wait, who did they draft did they draft a corner in this draft?
They went and got
was it Barron?
No, in the first round they took our guy that we
they took defensive tackle. Yes. So I mean, they got some pieces, but you have a returning Tua, Tyreek, Waddle. They still have a good team. Like there's guys coming back. That defense is just it's just okay. It's
Kenneth
okay
Grant, by the way. Kenneth Grant. Sorry, I don't know why I said
Kenneth Grant. Thank you very much for that. It's just okay to me. And at the end of the day, what it comes down to is this: Tua Tagovailoa, right? You don't know which Tua is going to show up. He's Jekyll Hyde. Sometimes you have the Tua that takes care of the football and he's just slinging that thing. But if him and Tyreek aren't on the same page, Tua becomes it's like whatever. So we just got to continue to do what we do, defend them the way we're supposed to defend them, and we'll be fine. So there's not much about this game that has me going, well, it's the Dolphins week. I don't. And if I were to ask Kevin the same, he'd be like, no, you guys are going to kick our ass. It's just what it's going to be. It's just what it's going to be. It's just another game on the schedule to me. That's the way I look at it. To me, I'm not spending too much time on it. But what I do like is week 11. Week 11, Bills host the Tampa Bay Bucks. Your thoughts on them? I had them as my honorable mention as to one of the intriguing games. The last time we faced this team, it was Baker Mayfield, one Hail Mary away almost from completing it and giving us an L. And we snuck away with that game. Your thoughts on this Baker Mayfield? I know you were giving some love to Baker Mayfield the other day. So talk to me. What are your thoughts?
Funny you say honorable mention. I was going to say the same, but then 8 p.m. rolled around and the schedule came out. I wanted to say if I did have an honorable mention or a sixth team in my most intriguing list, it would have been the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Bucks are a pain in the ass. They're never a team that goes 13-4. They're right around that 10-11 win mark, but every week they are a tough out. They should have been in the NFC Championship last year. They had that game won against the Washington Commanders, and they blew it at the end. This is a tough out. Tampa Bay is a tough out. You just mentioned it. The last time they played Tampa Bay was a Thursday night football game. The Bills had it wrapped up until they didn't. Baker charged back. They did have a chance to win it at the end. This is a team that just added another first-round wide receiver to go alongside now a healthy Chris Godwin, Mike Evans returning, Bucky Irving coming back for another year where he was terrific last year. This 100%. Is a team that is one of the bigger dark horses in the NFC. I would imagine they end up winning their division again. This is not an easy game by any stretch and will certainly be a very entertaining matchup in the second half of the season for sure.
I 100% agree. This Bucs game is going to be something very well coached. And you know Baker's going to bring it. Baker, I don't know why, but it seems as though Baker has, to the media's eyes, he's like in a lower tier of quarterbacks, but I truly believe he should be among the conversations of the Josh Allens, the Brady's, the Burrows, the Lamars. He's just a smidge below, but he should be up there. And if he has another solid season, if you look at statistics last year, dude had 4,500 yards. Yeah, I think he had 40 touchdowns last year. Those were solid numbers, bro. Solid numbers. So I think he doesn't get as much love as he should. That stint in Cleveland kind of brought him down. Then he was tossed around to the Rams. And so there was almost where he didn't find a home. He's finally got a home now. And I think he's going to start wheeling and dealing. So this should be a very fun matchup versus these Tampa Bay Bucks. And we'll be facing these boys, in week?
That's week 10.
11. Week 11.
Oh, excuse me. You're right. Week 11. Yeah.
Week 11. All right. So then we got the Bucks. And what do we got? Oh, boy. You see it. Houston,
I
Texans.
do indeed. Now,
Houston, Texans, Thursday night football. What is that? Thursday night football again?
2 Thursday nighters, Rico. I can't remember the last time the Bills had that. Is that? Whoa.
You got to win.
You got to win. Bills, Texans on Rico's birthday. That's a guaranteed Bills W, right, hon?
You got to win. I like that's a guaranteed Bills W. You got to win. Now, this game is intriguing to me. Right, there was a lot of people that when I was doing my countdown to 5, it was like Houston Texans. Dude, Houston gave us fits, man. Call it what you want to call it. They gave us fits. Josh Allen did not look comfortable. Now, call it what you want to call it. He was uncomfortable with his receivers. He didn't have anybody to get open. No, they were good. That team was a solid team, and they just whooped our ass. So there's payback to be had. We, like the young kids say, we got to get our lick back. We got to get our lick back against these Houston Texans because they really gave it to us. They stifled us. The receivers couldn't get open. Josh was under duress all game. It was rough. It was a rough go for Josh. So Josh, I'm sure, has that game circled on, forget about Stephon Diggs, not there no more. This is now about the Houston Texans and that great coaching staff and that great defense that just gets after the quarterback. So we're going to have to get our lick back, get that dub. That one's going to be a tough one. And I don't like how they have Tampa and Houston back-to-back. Those are problematic for me. I don't like that back-to-back matchup. But
I mean, that quad there, Rico, that quad
I see it.
stretch.
I'm looking now.
I mean, that is Tampa Bay, Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I mean, that's a hell of a month right there. I mean, that's a month.
I just looked at it. For the minute I said Tampa Bay, Houston. I don't like that double. I'm like, then I saw Pittsburgh. I was like, oh shit. Then I got Cincinnati next, bro.
Well, really, you go back to the KC game. Look at Miami. I know we love to mess around with Miami, but look it's still a divisional game, and that's coming off of KC. I mean, that's really a 6-game stretch there where every week you're going to be kind of sitting on the edge of your seat there for sure.
No question about that. That's a tough one.
Double Thursday nighter. That's interesting. At Houston once again. It was in Houston last year. That was the worst game the Bills played all year last year. And man, did they bounce back in an incredible way after that. I mean, it feels like they completely turned their season around after that game last season. Josh Allen, that might have been one of the worst games he's ever played in his career in that game. And at the end, Joe Brady and him were certainly not on the same page. It was just a disaster of a football game. Yes, and Houston's one of those teams, Rico, they're so easily forgotten because of how weak that division is, but this is going to be a team more than likely going to win that division again, going to be a playoff team. They, outside of getting a really slow start underneath them against the Chargers in the wild card round last year, they went on to beat their ass in that game, and they really gave KC all they could bargain for. They could not score. They could not score in the divisional round against Kansas City at all, but Houston is certainly a team that you got to respect. It's in their place. It's prime time. That'll be an interesting one for sure. And definitely you mentioned the revenge angle. I'll be thinking about that because like I said, that was the worst game that they played last year, the Bills. But that's certainly about as good of a Thursday night football game as I think you're probably fine on that whole slate. Cause that's going to be a good game. No doubt.
No, you nailed it. There's no question about it. It should be a fun one. So that Houston game should be fun. And then you're on to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers, November 30th, 4:25 game, afternoon. The Bills, we match up well against them. I mean, we've taken care of business against them before, and I don't see this being any different. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Defense is always going to be on par. They're always going to do good things, but you've got to do something on offense. You've got to be able to score against the Bills, at least against the Bills to match up. And this is one of those games where if we don't handle our business early, this could be disaster for us because the Pittsburgh Steelers somehow, if you watch their games, they never die. They always find ways to stick around right till the end to make it close where an error could happen. So at the end of the day, If we should be able to handle our business, put points on the board, and stifle these boys up. I mean, who's quarterbacking over there? Freaking.
Well, in all likelihood, it'll be Aaron Rodgers.
Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers?
So the Bills, whenever they face them, it seems to be they're banged up, right? They either have a third string quarterback in or TJ Watt's hurt or whatever.
Right. Absolutely.
You just said it though. I mean, I don't care what time of year it is, who's quarterback. A Mike Tomlin-led Pittsburgh Steelers team is always going to be a pain in the ass. They are.
Yep.
The defense is always sound. And to me, it's all going to come down to the Bills probably getting to 24 in this game. If you can get to 24 in this game, that's probably going to be enough to do it. But we don't know what Pittsburgh is right now. We don't. They just traded away George Pickens. We still don't know who the hell is going to be starting at quarterback. They do have DK Metcalf. Yeah, they have Metcalf now. Yep. So, Metcalf and Rodgers, that could be interesting. But, the last time the Bills played against Rodgers, it was just I got to be honest, there's not a whole lot that concerns me about that game. 425 though, so that'll be one of those midday CBS game of the week type games. So interesting note there.
Very true. Who do we got? So we got Pittsburgh, and then we got the Cincinnati Bengals at home.
Yep,
at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow. They've been here before. We're in December at this point.
Yes.
Start of December. So
and that's the key there, Rico. What you just said.
Absolutely. This is where football really starts to matter. Forget about what we did in September, October. It helps, but it really doesn't matter. This is where football begins to really count. And now you're going up against a Cincinnati Bengals team. Now, who knows? Their defense might be the same BS that we saw last year, and the offense just can't keep bailing them out. And it might be the same thing. Or they said, like that Rams GM said, F those picks. The GM for these freaking Ravens said, F the defense. It's all about this offense. They don't even want to pay Trey Hendrickson, which gave you 17 and a half sacks last year, and you're still bullshitting around and not paying this man. So it's all about the offense for these guys. You pay T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase all that money in three guys. I saw something to the nature of they account for more than 50% of the salary of the team. Those three guys alone. That's absolutely insane. So you better hope and pray those three can deliver you some W. So to me, as intriguing as this game could be, I mean, three guys, 44%. It's my bad. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan said 44%. That's damn
Red.
Ryan Edinger, 44%, bro. Like damn near 50% of your salary cap is tied up into three dudes. No wonder they're not trying to pay Trey Hendrickson. And Trey Hendrickson says, damn all of that.
I know he's going to town, isn't he? I mean, this has been the Trey Henderson week.
I love it. I love that he's saying that. Hold these boys accountable. You said, come back and let's talk on the table tomorrow. I mean, next year. Well, guess what? I gave you 17 and a half sacks last year. And you know what I love what he said? He said, if I gave them 4 sacks, they would have been ready to cut me and tell me to take a pay cut. And he's absolutely freaking right. So this is where ownership has to man up and pay up. Ryan Edinger, appreciate that correction.
Appreciate you, Red. Appreciate you, buddy. How's the Ram schedule?
Is that your boy?
That's my main man, Ram. And I know he's taking a peek at the Ram schedule right now, taking a peek at how they're going to get to February against our Buffalo Bills. That's what Ram's doing right now. Very kind of him to drop in on the Bills stream while he's trying to decipher how his Rams are going to get to San Francisco and meet with us in February. But let's talk a little bit more about this game, Rico, right? 425 once again. By the way, the 1 p.m. brigade, and I know there's a lot of you. Once again, you're going to be upset with this schedule, right? There's only 7 1 p.m. games amongst the 16 determined here. So there's more non-1 p.m. games than there is 1 p.m. games. Back-to-back 425ers here and a 3-game stretch in which the Bills aren't playing one. The location of this game on the schedule is what's most intriguing to me. And you mentioned it right off the bat, Rico. First week of December. If I have my crystal ball, here's how I see this. I think Cincy is right in the mix, if not currently holding one of the wild card spots, right? I think that's where they're at this point of the year. I think the Bills are either in the driver's seat or in the passenger seat of the 1 seed in the AFC. And this game will have massive implications for both teams on their various trajectories. I think the Bills are going to be on pace for the 1 seed. I think Cincy could be right on par for that division. I just think Baltimore's too good, so I think that they're not going to take it, but they're going to be going for one of those final 2 wild card spots. This is a massive, massive game because of the location in which it's at. Early December, where I think a win in this game for either team could massively swing where they end up finishing within that playoff seating. It's in Buffalo, and based on how it's looking towards the end here, it could be the last really big, meaningful, massive game, regular season game at the Ralph. But you just said it. It's going to come down to the offense here for Cincinnati, and if they're going to be able to overcome whatever their defense was last year, or do we see a completely different defense this year from Cincinnati, and we're looking at a completely different team going into this game? But we know it's going to be a tough one regardless, and I think it's going to be huge, mainly based on, well, of course it's going to be huge regardless, but that December slot, man, I think that's going to have more weight than if it were earlier in the year, and really looking forward to that game. 425, can't wait.
My man Signified Note says, yo, you guys are giving Cincy too much credit. They're going to pay the price for paying 3 players, half their salary cap, not paying their only good defensive player. Listen, that's where they've taken the risk. That was a risk they decided to take by paying those guys. And it's not like they didn't deserve it. T. Higgins deserved a contract. So did Jamar Chase. So did Joe Burrow. But sometimes you just can't pay everybody. And right now they put all their eggs in the basket on the offensive side of the ball. So when and if that defense struggles, listen, you have only yourselves to blame. You have only yourselves to blame. And that's why you guys should find a way to move on from Trey Hendrickson. And if the Bills want to, jump in on that, and we can send you a young player over there, so that way it's easier on your salary cap, and we can figure some things out. But if they happen to, it won't matter because we'll block them up anyway and we'll do what we need to do. So interesting to see Cincinnati on the schedule at 425. But side note, I'm so thankful that I do not work the night shift any longer, because this would have been so disastrous for me. I would have had to burn all my, I think you Americans call it PTO, right? Personal time off, I believe. I would have had to burn all my PTO just to watch the Bills play. And that's not even them winning, right? Imagine taking your time off when your team is playing for them to lose. And then by the time the season is done, you're trying to, when time matters for you to take time off, you can't because you wasted all the Bills. I'm so thankful that I don't work the night shift. I can actually enjoy these games. I'm just going to have early mornings. So be it. I'll take it. 9 games that are not going to be 1 p.m. games. Man, I do miss those. I'm with Walter. I miss the 1 p.m. slot. I miss them. A nice afternoon of football, and then you have an evening to celebrate your team's win. Instead, you're sitting there having to stay up. I mean, at least for me, I'm an hour ahead of you guys. 5 p.m. games, nasty work. 9 o'clock p.m. games. Do you know how crazy that is? I'm an old man now. I get tired, bro. I got to take a nap before I can come and start doing these things. Golly, shoot. Anyway, that was just a side note. I just wanted to jump in there. So,
well, no, I'm glad you did, because I just don't understand. I love the 1 p.m. games too, but man, this is what we were waiting for forever. You got to roll with the punches here. I mean, you got to be willing to take what comes with having the team the Buffalo Bills currently are and the quarterback Josh Allen currently is. You're not going to be stuffed into the 1 p.m. window with the dregs of the league like you were for 20 years when you were the dregs of the league, right? This is what you get when you become what the Bills have become. That's why I love it. I understand that, especially earlier in the year here, where there's going to be primetime nearly every week. I get that it can become somewhat annoying, but man, this is what you wanted, believe me. And I see so many people I saw someone earlier online saying, like, I almost wish we were bad again so we could be in the 1 p.m. games. I'm like, brother, I've been waiting my whole life to not be stuffed in the 1 p.m. So that's how I have to look at it every time, But 1 p.m. games, to your point, I mean, they are great. I mean, 1 p.m. is your classic football. You know what I mean? That's classic football. Correct. But the 425, I love it because you get that warm up, you get the whole slate. I get to watch my man. I get to watch my man Scott Hansen for the entire 1 p.m. slate. I'm all fired up. Then I get the 425. Then you get the prime time at the end. So I do like the 425s.
By the way, shout out to Big Phil. Phil says, listen, man, 9 games at 1 a.m. for me in London. Let's go. Oh, that's
Phil,
tough.
you are a legend. Dude, I have so much
cool.
respect for guys like you, Phil. Like I've been in Europe a couple of times during the Bills season, and I could not imagine doing that every week. That is crazy how you guys are operating like that. And I have all the respect in the world. I think it's awesome.
Well, I mean, in his defense, it's great because he can take his nap in the evening and then get ready for the Bills game and then catch us on the pregame. So big shout out to my man Phil. Good stuff for you, bro. What my man? I got
by the way, hold on real quick. Big shout out to everyone in here, by the way, Rico. We're about to touch down on 2,000 of you joined in live for the schedule release party. So big shout out to the BF crew.
If we can get to on YouTube, let's get up to 500 likes on this video. Let's give away a t-shirt. 500 likes. I like that. Let's go 500 likes. Get to 500 likes. Hit that subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and hit that like button. 500 likes in this, and I'm giving away a tee. Let's roll. Let's roll. All right, here we go. So we got Cincy down in the books, and up next, the New England Patriots.
Yep.
New England
Part 2
at 1 p.m. Part 2 on the road in New England in December. I mean, there's not much to say about it. It's just a division game. It's always going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And then soon after that, you've got a Sunday afternoon in Cleveland. Will Shedeur Sanders be starting this game, and will it matter?
The better question will be, what number quarterback will they be on by week 15? Will the fourth quarterback be making his appearance? And if it's the fourth, is it Shedeur or what? I mean, I'm dying to see. What are your thoughts on this?
Absolutely be fun.
This stretch at the end here. What are your thoughts on this? So we're at New England. Do you think by week 15, do you think New England will be in the playoff mix week 15?
Will who be in the playoffs?
New England.
New England.
You think they'll be in the playoff mix, whether it be in the hunt or whatever?
See, I'd like to look at their schedule. That's what we have to look at next, to kind of look at their schedule, to kind of skim through and say, because you can kind of skim through a schedule and be like, that's tough.
Yeah.
So I have to see New England's schedule and what it looks like. So, but you have them as the number 2 team in the AFC East. So
yes,
you should be in the mix. You should be in the mix. I mean, we had that thing wrapped up in freaking Thanksgiving, for crying out loud. So it wasn't good for that team. I think they're going to be a lot more improved than we think. It's too soon to tell, bro. Too soon. I don't know.
I just looked over here, by the way. Someone's going through the Eagles schedule. He's got them starting 5-3. I think it's Nate Robinson. Damn is right. Speaking of those Eagles, there it is. Week 17, like we were talking about earlier, based on the league. I do not understand. Now, maybe it could be Galaxy Brain Genius. Maybe both teams are playing for the 1 seed at this point, and they need this game desperately. If that's the case, look out. You're not going to find a better game all year. But man, Rico, there's a world where I think in week 17, both these teams have the division locked up, and both these teams might have their seeding locked up. And if that's the case, I just don't know why the NFL would want to risk having this game be potentially meaningless, because it was easily one of the best games on the entire 2025 slate.
I agree. I just don't understand. What do you think that thought process behind that was?
Well, so like I just said, it could be genius. Both these teams could be within a game of the 1 seed, right? And if that's the case, if we're talking about this game essentially being a playoff game for both of these teams in terms of their seeding, well, then it's a genius move by the NFL, because it doesn't get better, because you already have a potential Super Bowl preview here, 2 of the best teams in the league, and they're playing for huge stakes. But I also think that there really could be a situation where both these teams are kind of, maybe not fully solidified, but they're almost there. I just think it's a massive gamble by the NFL to put this game so late in the year, because there is a world where, and mind you, it doesn't have to not matter for both teams. Like, for instance, Philly could have everything locked up and they rest their guys and the Bills are still playing for something, or vice versa. I just think there's a huge gamble here having this game this late, because it could end up being a game that is meaningless. And when you take this type of matchup and kind of roll the dice on that, I just think it's kind of odd.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm going to put you in the shoes of the schedule maker. If you could swap, if you were a schedule maker and make this somewhat of a game that's intriguing and has implementations and it's got some variety to it. where would you slot that week 17 game? Who would you swap that with?
I'd probably swap Philly with the.
And would you put them before week 10 or after week 10?
I would have probably put Philly prior to the bye. I might swap them with. I might swap that game with like Atlanta, or excuse me, or either Atlanta or New Orleans.
Interesting. So you would have put them early. So Baltimore, Jets, Miami, Eagles.
Yeah, because I just think
that would have been a tough.
That is one of the biggest games of the year. I would have wanted to ensure, one, everyone's healthy, and two, there's no risk of this game not having, the full studded star factor without anybody having anything already sealed up or whatever. But like I said, there is also a situation where both these teams are desperately fighting for seeding, and that would make this game even more crazy, which would then be a genius move. So it's all going to depend on what happens prior to that, of course.
Well, and here's what I kind of like about the week 17 matchup. So the NFL league makers are probably like, okay, let's just say that game means nothing to both these guys, but this is a preview to a Super Bowl that we know nothing about the matchup, meaning their starters aren't playing both team starters aren't playing in this game. All the backups are starting. So if they happen to meet in the Super Bowl, this is something that we have not seen yet. So it'll be intrigue, right? It can't be, the last time the Ravens and Bills played, you saw what happened. Derrick Henry went off and did that's the third. So there's going to be some kind of backstory. This one, there would be no backstory. This is like, okay, right. Jalen Hurts v. Josh Allen, big time defensive front from the Eagles, big time defensive front from the Bills, and then you can go back and forth. So I can see that intrigue playing out as well. So
to your point, though, I didn't think about this until you just mentioned Super Bowl. Now let's just go with the scenario where this game does mean a lot. How much better will it be for both teams to have gotten a look at each other in late December as opposed to September if they're going to be playing in the Super Bowl? Because if you play somebody in September, that's a whole different team by the time you see him then, right? That would be within a month of one another. So if this game does end up being as meaningful as we hope it will be, or maybe we don't hope it'll be, but if it winds up being meaningful, I think both teams get a good look right around the time they would face each other again if they were to meet in the Super Bowl.
And here's another way to look at it too. And Walter made a good point. Clearly you can see week 18. Nobody gives a damn about week 18, right? It's to be determined. We'll see how that plays out. Division game. But week 17 does. We've seen it before, where we're looking at the schedule percentage of teams that can make the playoffs and who has to win what
in the hunt.
New York Times. So at this point, it could be the Bills need this win against the Eagles to lock up number one seed. The Eagles need this win to lock up because the Commanders are on the Eagles' ass. And then this might be, like you just said, it ties into, could this be a Super Bowl preview? And both teams actually really need this game because there's implementations on this game. So I kind of like it. I kind of like it now that I've looked at all scenarios. Bizarre at first, but when you really look at it, if it falls the way that it needs to fall, then we go from there. So good point. A great point, actually. And then obviously week 18, it's to be determined. At this point, the Bills should be resting their players, so it really should not matter at this point. The Jets, if it plays out the way it needs to play out, the Jets aren't even in contention. And it's just the backups the backups for the Jets. And it's just a moot point, no point. We might not even go live after this game. It might not mean it might mean so little that we might just let Pierre do his live game and there's no post game reaction to this game. Who knows? Who knows how it all plays out?
I see that game as a wild send-off party for the Ralph, the final regular season game at home. The Bills are locked up. Mitch Trubisky throws the final pass in the Ralph, and the Jets win the game, and they lose out on a top 5 pick, much like the Patriots lost out on the number 1 pick, winning last year. You got it all
planned out.
Yes, sir.
I kind of like it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the schedule. We've gone through it all, and we looked at interesting storylines that play out in each game. And there's going to be some really good storylines. And you know how things go. Trades happen in mid-season. Certain guys go down. Certain guys will be missing certain games. You just never know how this all play out. So this is a big year for the Bills. Huge year for the Bills, in my opinion. And listen, this could be a how many win season game. What are your thoughts? Should we go game by game and pick out the dubs or what?
Let me go to the bathroom real quick because I want to get into that. I don't want to sever the moment. So I'll be right back.
Handle your business. So as we are about to go through the list of games, and I don't know, you guys let me know what you guys would prefer. Do you prefer to have this setup the way it's set up right now, where you can see myself and Bot on the side of the screen and the schedule, or would you like it like so, where now you can actually see a much closer look at the schedule, and we can start picking out the dubs, the W's and the wins and losses and where they could be and so on and so forth. And we can talk about, is Josh Allen going to have X amount of yards? Is he going to rush for X amount of yards? Does James Cook have a 1,500-yard rushing season? Is it not even the case? Let's go to Josh Palmer. Is he our leading receiver? Will he be our leading receiver? Who's our leading reception leader? Does Dalton Kincaid step up to the plate and become that guy? That there's a whole lot of questions that are valid enough to have. Does Joe Brady open it up or does he keep it balanced? Because last year we were one of the best. We were the first team that's ever was able to put up 30 passing touchdowns and 30 rushing touchdowns. Incredible, incredibly balanced. And do we see a lot of the same going into next year? We shall see. So that being said, before we get into that, Z-Bot, I want to know your thoughts. I don't know if you saw this. Jordan Poyer was quoted on saying, "Hey man, he still wants to play one more year, and if he was granted the opportunity to come back to the Bills for one last year and essentially retire a Bill, would you be opposed to that, or has that ship sailed? We're not doing it."
If it was a Micah Hyde situation, I'd have no problem with it. I think that's awesome that he wants to do that. A lot of respect there. I think he knows his best years were in Buffalo, and he'd love to finish them there. So if it's a Micah Hyde situation, to me, I got no problem with it at all. Now, in terms of him coming in and playing meaningful snaps, I don't see that. But if it's a situation where he's cool with coming in and basically just being a part of the team so he can retire with the team, fine by me.
So you mean in a coaching / mentor capacity, if you will?
Yeah, come in, right? Work with Cole Bishop, and the rest of the safety room. Not expect to play much, only called on if you're needed, and then kind of hang it up at the place that you dreamed of hanging it up at. I think that's fine by me. I think the Bills were willing to do that with Micah Hyde because they know how much Buffalo meant to him. I think it's the exact same situation with Poyer, and I don't see a world where Bean wouldn't grant that to Poyer if that was the situation. You know what I mean?
I'm not for it. Listen,
okay,
it's been great. We brought him back the first time. It was cool. And I was talking to Kevin. Kevin's like, dude, I'm a big fan of Poyer. I like him. He has a bit of a relationship with Poyer. They've texted and tweeted each other back in DMs and so on and so forth. Bro, it's over with. It's over with. You know what I mean? Listen, it's not a charity case anymore. We can't have Buffalo being a charity case. Everybody come back. We're not Oprah, okay? We're done. We're not doing this where everybody can just come back and hang out and be part of something. Bro, we've been building now. And you went to the ops, number one. You could have went anywhere else. Yeah, but I went home to play home. We knew that's not. Listen, your home was in Buffalo, my guy, okay? And you went and played for the ops, and when you want to try to come back? No, bro. It's not happening. Micah Hyde at least was like, nah, I ain't going to play. If I'm playing for nobody but Buffalo. Respect. I like it. You know what I mean? And I get it. I understand it. You still had some juice left. You still want to play. You're going home. You had a bad year. Even Kevin was like, bro, he was horrible. He was not good for us. And some would say he granted us that huge penalty that got us over the hump against Miami. So Call it what you want. Mentorship, not interested. Listen, it's cool. It's been real. And I like Jordan Poyer. I'm a fan. I thought he was a big dog. But nah, I'm good. I'm good on that. I'm good on that, people. My man Walter says, yo, stop it, Rico. Thurman Thomas played for the Ops too. Should we abandon him as well? Thurman Thomas was a freaking Hall of Famer. What are you talking about? He was a staple in Buffalo. You don't mention Buffalo without mentioning Thurman Thomas. Walter, don't start with me. Don't start with me, Walter. You're not going to try to tell me. You know what I mean?
I just think that, but the precedent was set with Hyde, though. I think that if it was the same thing, that's how I see it. It couldn't be a wanting to play type situation, but that's not what the Hyde situation was. It would pretty much be to me like bring him in, week 10. I don't know. Depth for the playoffs and retire with the Bills. So retire with them. I get it. But I also get what you're saying, too. I get what you're saying.
You have a soft spot for Poyer. You have a soft spot.
Yeah, because I just think that if a guy wants to retire with the Bills and he had meaningful years with the Bills and he was a big part of the team, I respect it. And I think Bean does, too.
You can still retire with the team without having to, come on and be part of the roster. Just come on and sign a one day deal and call it a day. Everybody's soft in this chat right now. Stop being soft, people.
Maggie's with you, by the way.
One day deal. And then call it a day. You can still retire with the Bills. Don't try to come and try to get yourself another contract and try to get yourself a Super Bowl with us. Bro.
Oh, so you don't want him dipping out to the ops and then getting the Super Bowl ring?
It's what I'm saying, man. We're starting to get things together. You're not going to just come and reap the benefits. I get it.
So you're saying Hyde was different because he didn't go anywhere else?
That's my point. He didn't go anywhere else. He goes, okay. I play for the Bills or I play for no one. And guess what? We all said, come on back. Are y'all ready to say come on back to Poyer? Nah, bro. I'm good. And I like Poyer. Don't get me wrong. It's not even hate on Poyer. I like Poyer. I'm a fan of Poyer. When he was with the Bills, that boy was a dog. But your past that tooth is a little too long for me. We good.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's fair enough.
I like it. I like it. So are we ready to roll
before
on
we
in?
Game by game here, any generalities stick out to you based on just the overall look of the schedule? Just in general, anything stand out?
Let me have a look. See. Well, the one that we touched on was that stretch, that late November, early December stretch, or mid November, where you get Tampa,
Definitely.
Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincy. That stretch is it's an interesting stretch right there. I didn't think that we got something there. I didn't think we would get somewhere in that realm, but I said it yesterday. They're going to find a way to screw us and give us a gauntlet of a kind of square of a matchup. This is not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still nonetheless a challenging one. Tampa's not going to be no slouch. Houston, nor the Houston team. Pittsburgh is always a battle, obviously, and Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati has our number. So that block of 4 is a tough one. That's a real tough one. That's what stands out to me. What about you?
That's certainly one. The beginning of the year is, I just don't know how it gets more favorable. I know the week 7 bye isn't ideal. I know it's a little bit early. You'd like to see it a little later, but you're talking about your first 8 games. And like I said, they'll be favored in all of them, considerably favored in 7 of 8 of them, or 6 of 7 of them. And I just think that you have a really nice launch pad into that stretch, like you just mentioned, that gets incredibly difficult starting in early November. But some things to keep in mind here, because the way even before the schedule was released, when we knew the opponents and then things started to come out, this is a 1-seed or bust type season. The Bills have had a very favorable deck of cards stacked in front of them heading into this upcoming season. Not to mention, what I thought to be a great draft, a great offseason. That's besides it. Just based on the way things have fallen here. They have the second least amount of miles traveled in the entire league. Second least amount of miles, which, it's not everything, but it's something. They aren't really bouncing around the globe like some of these other teams are. They only have 1 game, Rico, outside of the Eastern time zone. All of their toughest games are at home. Cincinnati, Baltimore, KC, Philadelphia. And let's not forget, the Bills didn't lose a single game at home last year. So that matters. I think they have the easiest road schedule in the league, and I think they probably have one of, if not the most winnable division in the entire league. But the strength of schedule to me stands out. I know people say it doesn't matter because it changes from year to year. Yes, but I don't see dramatic changes for all these teams that are towards the bottom of the league, like the Jets, the Saints, the Panthers. They might be slightly better, but I don't think they're going to be jumping all the way up to the top half of the league. And when you're looking at this strength of schedule, it's pretty miraculous how it's fallen for the Bills. And I went and looked this up the other day. The teams with the top 9 easiest strengths of schedule in 2025 all had losing records. Every single one of them, but the Bills, who went to the AFC Championship. Top 9, all losing records. Among the top 13 teams with the easiest strengths of schedule this upcoming season, only 2 of them made the playoffs. Only 2 of them, made the playoffs, and it was the Bills and the Bucs. The Bills had the 5th easiest. The Bucs have the 10th easiest. So out of 13 teams in the league with the easiest schedule going into 2025, 2 of them made the playoffs, and the Bills have double the easier schedule according to how it looks right now, right, over the Bucs. Among the top 18 easiest schedules, Rico, only 4 teams made the playoffs. Only 2 of them made the divisional. That was the Bills and the Bucs. The 2 teams that lost in the wild card, the Broncos and the Chargers, both lost by 20 plus in the wild card. So out of the top 18, the Bills and the Bucs were the only 2 to reach the divisional. The other 2 playoff teams got smoked. And then if we're looking at the 4 teams that were in the conference championship game last year, Rico, this is where it gets really crazy in terms of how different the Bills' schedule is compared to the top 4 teams that finished last year. The Bills have the 5th easiest. The Commanders have the 19th easiest. Okay. The Chiefs have the 27th easiest. And the Eagles have the 29th. So out of all 4 teams on championship weekend last year, the Bills far and away have the easier deck of cards laying in front of them going into this upcoming season. Now, granted, like we talked about, things change. I get that. But could you ask for a better setup on the tee going into 2025? I don't think you could.
You couldn't. Now, I do want to bring this up to you, and I want your thoughts on this. Call it a conspiracy or not. So let's go to the NBA first. So I saw something the other day where certain things happened to a certain team that was drastic. And the very next year, they won the lottery. So it was something to the nature of the Pelicans lost AD. They won the lottery the year after that. I don't remember the order.
So the Cavs lost LeBron. They won the lottery. Right. You have that situation right there.
It happened to the Pelicans twice. Pelicans got the lottery twice. CP3 leaves. They won the lottery the next year. And then the freaking Luka leaves the Mavs. Nico Harrison, they win the lottery. They had a 2% chance to win the lottery. So there's 4 straight years teams winning the lottery after something significant. They lost a significant player that would have made them abysmal team to watch, but they got the lottery to get the best player in the game. So which brings me to the Bills. The Bills being a team that, usually an easy schedule, based on what you told me, easy schedules usually go to a team that had not a great record. If I remember, is that what you said? Usually teams that got a easy schedule because the year before that they had a terrible record. So they're trying to even out the playing field somewhat. I don't know if that's how it works per se.
Well, it's funny. It didn't even work out that way this year. The Giants have the toughest strength of schedule in the entire league, which is crazy.
That right? Okay, so then that my theory goes out the window, because what I was gonna say was, are the NFL, string movers, puppet, masters, are they trying to, sway it to the Bills' way so they can find their way to an easy playoff and finally get over the hump and win a Super Bowl in the stadium that they'll never be in anymore, going into the next stadium, et cetera, et cetera. You know how there's what was the couple years ago, there was a big old NFL when they were saying the NFL's scripted. The script is in. So could the script be that, hey man, we want to give the Bills the 5th easiest schedule so they can try to get to the Super Bowl? And what a story it would be. Wouldn't that be something?
Well, that's the beauty of the NFL, is these schedules are all predetermined based on the outcome, right? It just happened to fall in place. That's why I'm saying it's such a luxury for the Bills, because they don't just pick and choose games out of a hat. You know what I mean? These things are all predetermined based on finish and what division you're supposed to play. Then, of course, your own division. The Bills are playing in one of the worst divisions in the NFL right now. They drew the NFC West, which is probably the worst division in the NFC, right? In Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay, or is it the NFC South?
It's
NFC South. It's the worst division in the NFC. So they have the worst of it. The Bills currently have probably the worst division in the AFC. They drew having to play the worst division in the NFC. And, you also factor in not having to travel all that far, no games on Christmas or Thanksgiving, no international games. I'm just saying a lot of stuff other teams have to deal with. The Bills do not have to deal with this year. And I just think that it kind of culminates into a season to me where it's one seed or bust based on the team that they have and the situation they currently find themselves in.
One seed or bust?
Yes.
We're there.
Yes, we are 100% there. 100%.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Like this is the time.
Like if you can't get the one seed,
man.
Rico, with the 5th easiest strength of schedule, while the Chiefs have the 27th. I mean, then when are you going to do it?
We can't keep playing games. We can't keep playing games when the opportunity is right in front of us. And we have Josh Allen in his freaking prime, coming off an MVP, understanding how to play the game, the best he's ever done it. And now that he knows how to play the game, buddy, he should be able to freaking take this team to another level. So yes, one seed or bust. Oh, I love it. Love it. Now, one seed or bust, you got to win games. So how is this going to play out?
Let's do
Week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. At home. What do you got?
I got panic mode. Everybody's going to freak out. Bills lose their first home game in some time on Sunday Night Football to the Baltimore Ravens, week 1 of the 2025 season. And everybody's they're going to start freaking out. Ravens fans are going to be having a field day. They're going to be going nuclear online, letting us have it, even though we got the best of them last year in the game that mattered the most. I can just see it now. It's kind of like a couple of years ago when everybody was hitting the panic button on the Bills losing to the Jets. And I know it wasn't the greatest year in the world, but the Bills wound up getting back on track. The Bills haven't lost a home game in forever. This is going to be a hell of a tight game, but I don't think Baltimore makes the amount of mistakes that they made in the divisional game last year. And I can just see, the fact that this game being as big as it is, Baltimore having that revenge factor in mind for a multitude of reasons going into this game. I don't know what it is. Crystal ball tells me the Bills lose this game. Panic mode steps in, or panic button gets hit, and then we'll get into the rest shortly here. How about you?
I like how you went that route. I say the winning streak continues, and I go back to the Ravens game previously. That game got busted open on one big run by Derrick Henry. If not for that big run by Derrick Henry, I think the Bills breathe and settle down and handle business the way we needed to handle business that game. And it was early. It was early in the season. We were still starting to get used to the players that we had on the squad. So I think we'll do a better job in defending Derrick Henry, especially on this roster. We didn't really understand. I mean, you had Lamar Jackson. So once we got to the playoffs, we had a way to kind of control and do what we need to do. And we saw it in the evidence of us winning the game. I think it's going to fall the same way, but this time we'll be much more prepared for these Ravens with Derrick Henry. We keep it rolling. The Bills go 1-0. Ravens.
I'm writing this down, by the way. We always forget to write it down. I'm writing this down, by the way.
I'm writing it down as we speak. So I got the Ravens. I got the Bills winning this one at home. It's going to be emotional. It's ready to go. Like you said, it's the farewell year for the stadium. We got to get the first dub. We got to get the first dub at home. Everybody's watching Sunday Night Football. Let's roll. Let's go. Give me the dub.
So you got the Bills starting 1-0.
I got the Bills.
All right, and I got them 0-1 to kick the year off.
Here we go. Bills at Jets. So Bills are coming off of a loss for you. So they've got to redeem themselves. The Bills are coming off a huge emotional win against the Ravens. They want to keep the highs going. You got the Jets. Justin Fields, Breece Hall, Garrett. You got Coach Aaron Glenn and a defense that's still pretty good. What say you?
Bills off of a really tough loss in the opener at home under the lights on the national stage are looking to really take their anger out on the poor New York Jets at MetLife, and they are going to do so with vengeance. The Bills roll the Jets in week 2 to go to 1-1.
1-1. I like it. I think the Bills continue to win. The Bills don't like the Jets. Deion Dawkins doesn't like the Jets. We whether we win or whether we lose, that game is different every time. We don't like the Jets. We're going to stuff the Jets, and we're going to take it to them. I like Aaron Glenn, but I think you bit off a little more than you could chew coming to the AFC East, my boy. So the Bills go up 2-0. 2-0 Bills. Let's go.
I love this, by the way. You predict the Bills to lose to a team that dropped a pass last year to beat us in the divisional round. You just say, hey, I think the Bills might lose to the Baltimore Ravens. Really solid team. Z-Bot's hammered. Z-Bot's hammered. You're wasted, bot. It's not like they're opening the season against Carolina, and I'm like, yeah, brace for a letdown. Brace for a letdown.
Z-Bot's one game into the season, he's wasted. He's drunk. Get this guy off the screen.
I got to find a couple of L's here somewhere, right? And I'm thinking, get it out of the way week one and really let a fire under these guys. So we both got them winning against the Jets, right, Rico? Now it's back to Buffalo for a 3-game stretch here at home, starting against the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. Talk to me.
Thursday night against the Fins. I'm gonna go with what you just don't worry about the Fins. You're not a guy that just sits there and be like, they're gonna give us issues. And right now, on the road at night, it's not gonna be hot. It's gonna be in Miami. Bro, give me the Bills to roll Thursday night. We're gonna keep it rolling. We're hot. We were 1 game away from going to the Super Bowl last year. So the motivation is still hot, and we've replenished. We got deeper on our squad. The Miami Dolphins, did you see them getting a massive improvement? Not really. Give me the Bills with a dub.
Bills at home, primetime, Allen versus Tua. You already know the drill. This is a Bills W to improve to 2-1, 2-0 in the division to kick things off, Rico.
Absolutely. I'm with you. Listen, we'll take that all day, every day. Bills over the Fins, no question about it. Week 4, Bills Saints at home.
Yeah, one of those games you might fall asleep during because the Bills are up by multiple scores at half. I just don't see how New Orleans competes in this game on a viable level. Maybe early on, but we're talking 2 teams on 2 different spectrums of the league here, and the Bills are at home. We've seen this time and time again where the Bills will get a team that's just far inferior to them at their place, and they roll. We've seen also moments where the Bills will go on the road and they'll maybe throw a dud in there against a team they shouldn't. But at home, this is where it gets different to me. Not happening here, especially. This is why I think losing week 1, it isn't the worst thing in the world. That's going to be a gut check. And I think that you're not going to take anybody for granted moving forward, including the Saints. The Bills will roll New Orleans at home.
Week 5, Sunday Night Football, Bills v. Pats, home game. What do you got?
Yeah, so I think this one will be a better game than maybe many will think. I think you're going to get the best out of the New England Patriots in this game, right? Vrabel's going to want to put on a show. This is Sunday Night Football. I haven't looked at the Patriots schedule. I can't imagine they have another Sunday Night Football game on their schedule. I'd be stunned. This is going to be the Patriots' time, right? Going to Buffalo, trying to prove that they belong at the top of this division for, the foreseeable future here with Vrabel, with Drake May, with the draft pieces that they've added around him, trying to build this team back up into a playoff caliber team. You're going to get New England's best crack here, but their best crack just simply isn't good enough to compete with the Buffalo Bills to a point in which they win at the end. I think this will be a tight game. I really do think this will be more competitive than many think, but the Bills will win it on Sunday Night Football again to improve to 4-1, winning 4 straight up until this point. How about you, Rico?
Here we go. I got the Patriots playing they're hosting the Las Vegas Raiders week 1. Then they're at Miami. Then they host Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they're hosting Carolina, and then they face the Bills.
Not terrible.
It's not terrible. So I'm going to take the Bills to win this one. I think that first matchup against the Vegas Raiders is going to be a tough one, and Miami is always a divisional game, is always tough. Pittsburgh is just a big bruising team. I don't think they got enough for Pittsburgh. I think the Bills come in and continue to roll. So give me the dub against the New England Patriots. Loving it. All
I'm
right,
with you.
So Sunday Night Football, we transitioned to Monday Night Football.
Yes, indeed.
It's an early slate game. The Atlanta Falcons. We don't know much about Atlanta. They're coming with a second-year player in Michael Penix. Call him a rookie, call him a second-year player. He's a new quarterback. Bijan Robinson, they added some pieces. They were Raheem Morris has got them well coached. They were neck and neck. It wasn't like they were buns last year. They just didn't have enough to kind of cover and do what you needed to do. They got a good defense. They added some pieces. They got James Pierce, and they got Landon. Who was it? I can't remember his name. Landon Collins. Can't remember. But they got two big time players in that draft. I don't care what they got. Bills are rolling Atlanta. I don't care. Dirty Bird. We're gonna cancel that stuff. It's the Buffalo Stampede. Give me Buffalo over my Atlanta Falcons that are going to take this dub because the Bills are going to roll. Give me a dub.
Do you remember what happened the last time the Bills played in the early window at home on Monday Night Football?
I did not like it. Tennessee Titans.
No, last year against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Bills won 47-10.
Was that hold on? Wasn't that a 1 p.m. game?
That was the first end of a Monday Night Football doubleheader.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh,
and the Bills absolutely dismantled Jacksonville.
Yep.
And I'm looking for a similar outcome here in ATL. Give me the Bills W on Monday Night Football over Michael Penix in his first full year as a starter.
I think I'm with you. So right now we're 6 games in. Z-Bot has got these boys 5-1. Your boy Rico's got these boys. Your boy Rico's got these boys 6-0. And the one loss, week one against the Ravens. I mean, listen, it's not a bad time to lose to a team week 1 in the books. You get look at the Jaguars. I mean, week 1 of the books, I get it. It's a crapshoot. Week 1 is always a crapshoot. You don't know what you're gonna get. Everybody's working out kinks, like my girl Laura said, working the kinks out. You just never know. So 6-0.
I mean, last year the Bills were outplayed thoroughly for a full 30 minutes of football against the Cardinals in week 1. And we saw the trajectory those two teams went on the rest of the year. I mean, the Bills became one of the best in the league, and Arizona was a middle tier team at best. So week 1 is finicky for sure.
Yeah, it's not a bad if you're going to lose that first game because everybody doesn't really, you don't really know what's going on. So let's roll. So bye week comes in, and then we got the Panthers. Are we confident the Bills should be able to take the Panthers and handle business?
This is one of those games where if you lose, something went drastically wrong. I mean, something went horribly wrong where, I don't know, Josh Allen, they accidentally put vodka in the Gatorade tubs and he's sipping on that instead of blue Gatorade and something goes off the rails. This is one of those games where you just cannot fathom how, like, you might say, oh, I could see an upset here. Okay, tell me how. How do you see the Bills? This is one of those games where just like, can you explain to me how you see the loss? And the only way that would happen is if this Bills offense just quite literally did not show up. So for all those reasons, Bills W.
Tutoria McMillan and that Panthers offense, listen, call it what you want. They still got to work some kinks out, just not against Buffalo. This is going to happen. So give me that dub. I'm with you. Coming out of the bye, big win against the Panthers. Next up, Chiefs, Bills, 4:15 at home.
Regular season at home, Bills, Chiefs. Bills win this game. The Bills have proven time and time again that when they have the Chiefs in the regular season, they're capable of beating them. And last year they did just that. I think they do it again this upcoming season. I don't want to say that the Chiefs aren't going to have a down year, but I just, once again, I try to say this as carefully as I can because I don't want to sit here and say the Chiefs are going to decline. I just don't think the Chiefs are going to win every single game this upcoming season like they won it last year, where it was just like, how the hell did they win that game every single week? I think something's got to give at some point. They're still obviously going to be vying for the top of the AFC, but I think that there might be more of a or less of a gap between the Chiefs and everybody else this upcoming season. And I think that the Bills off of a bye, going to Carolina, getting back underneath of that, or getting their feet back underneath them off of that bye in a game that they should roll in. I like the momentum the Bills will carry into Kansas or into that game at home against Kansas City, where they've had success in the regular season. W for Buffalo over the Chiefs.
Here's where the Bills lose their first one.
All right, here we go.
The Bills get on with the Panthers. The Bills are facing the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes is not wearing the mullet anymore. He's looking like a true black man with the fade and all that good stuff. So he's tapped in. They've got Rashee Rice back. They've got a lot of guys that were hurt last year right back again. Xavier Worthy going to his second year. I think this bodes a challenge for the Bills, but I'm only choosing this game to be a loss because I want to see these fools again in the playoffs. We keep winning these regular season games. So now I'm pulling a okie doke. Listen, we lose this one, but we'll see you back again in the playoffs where it counts. And this time we actually send you guys packing. Now, they're going to be a far better team. I see no decline. I see them only getting better. They shored up the offensive line. They got better at receiver position. And Pat Mahomes is ready to roll. And they still got Andy Reid. They still got a lot of the same players. So give me the L for the Chiefs, for the Bills against the Chiefs, week 9. Our first loss comes week 9.
I was also factoring into what someone mentioned earlier, that gauntlet that the Chiefs have prior to this game as well, not having a bye either.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
The Bills have a light schedule and a bye. The Chiefs have an insane schedule and no bye. So I also factor that into why I like the Bills in this one as well.
Yeah, I gotta go chat to my guy Zap TM. I don't know if Zap TM just joined the show, so he may not have. I have the Bills right now undefeated right up until this point. Zap TM, what the heck are you talking about? So Rico's doing what do you mean? What was Rico's 9-0?
You just got to go with the Pierre method and just pick every game as a W. That's what you
might as well. Undefeated, win the Super Bowl. Done. Cancel the show. We're done.
Pierre figured it out years ago. Just don't even bother with this. Win them all.
I think it's so funny. Let's keep it rolling here. Chiefs. So you got to win. I got to L.
So we both have the Bill. By the way, we both up until this point, heading into the second half of the year, we both have the Bills right now at 7-1. Correct.
Correct, Amondo.
Excellent.
Correct, Amondo. Let's keep it rolling. Bills, excellent. Miami, at Miami, on the road.
So I think the Bills win narrowly or not. They're going to win both of the Miami games. One of them will be narrow, though. I just think it's just the way it goes.
Agree.
I think they're going to win the one Thursday night, maybe more narrowly than this one. I don't know. I'm out on Miami. Not that I'm ever in on them, but I just think that the writing's on the wall there. Doesn't it seem to be deteriorating? I mean, this whole Tyreek Hill thing to me, I know it might not seem like a lot to everybody, but I think it's a perfect representation of what Miami is right now. They've lost all control. It feels like they don't have any control of that organization right now. It just feels like it's constantly in flux. I think a lot of it has to do with Mike McDaniel, where I just don't know if the culture of that team is fully embracing. I don't even know how to put it. It just doesn't feel like they're all in. The Bills are all in. Yep. And I think by this time of the year, when you're in the halfway point of the year, the teams that are all in have separated themselves. I think the Bills roll Miami in the second time.
I'm with you on this one. I think they win both these games. I just don't think Miami's is they're in the middle of the pack again. They're just there. They're just there to exist and fill a roster spot. And that's what I feel. I don't feel like they're going to be competing as much. So and this is the era for the Bills. This is the Bills' time, and the Miami just happens to be in the way. So scoot out the way. Give me the dub. I'm with you on that one. Bucks. This is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bills are hosting the Bucks. What say you?
Ooh, baby. I think every time the Bills and Bucks play, it's always a really good game. I think this one's going to be no different.
Careful, Buck, because they're going to say that you're a hater. Careful.
So I was actually kind of shocked of all the games like that. This one was stuffed into 1 p.m. I thought maybe this one could see itself at a 4:25 or a prime time, but it is a 1 p.m. I bet you it'll be probably the best 1 p.m. game of that day. This is one of those games where I do think it's going to be tight all the way till the end. I'm torn on this one. I feel like I want to say one of those second half of the year L's here, but it is at home. It is in Buffalo. And I think that in a tight game, that's going to wind up being the marginal difference. Give me the Bills really close against Tampa Bay in week 11.
Oh, I think this is where we got our difference. I think we lose this one to the Bucks. I think it's just a matchup situation with the Bills. And this is like it. I think it's gonna be tight. And you got a solid, really good quarterback on the other side with Baker, and I think their defense is going to be a lot better than it was last year. This is a tight one at home, but I think we lose this one to the Bucs. The Bucs come in and steal one in Buffalo. I don't like it, but that's just my guess here. The Bills lose this one. This is their second L of the second half of the season. But that you had it as a close one, but a close win. I have it as a close loss. That's the Bucs game. And then we head into Thursday Night Football, short week, Texans. What do you got?
Someone needs to fact check me on this, but I'm 99% sure Josh Allen has never lost on Thursday Night Football. And I don't think it starts here. I don't see two consecutive losses to Houston. And I don't see Josh Allen taking his first L in a game where they're going to be ready to rock. They know they played terribly against this team last year. They're going to want to give him a look at what they should have gave him last year. Give me the Bills in primetime over Houston on Thursday Night Football.
I gotta say, I'm not a fan of the two Thursday Night Football games, man. I hate it. I'm not a fan of it, but it is what it is at this point. So you have the Texans and Bills. You got the Bills winning this one. Is this a close game or is this one of those routes? What do you think?
Within a touchdown. By the way, I currently have the Bills on a 10-game win streak right now.
Josh Richards says, Rico, you tripping. It's going to be a cold in November, and plus Tampa Bay players hate the cold. Listen, don't ever fall
that's a good
for
point.
that. No, don't fall for that crap. Tampa Bay players don't like the cold. Are you kidding me? There's players from all over the freaking country that grew up in freaking Minnesota that's played for Tampa, and all of a sudden they don't like the cold. They can't deal with the cold. You're a football player, period. You're a baller. It's like saying, "Oh, Buffalo don't like the heat and they lose in the heat." No, man, you can play. You play. Like we got a whole bunch of Florida cats on Buffalo. Are they all cold-natured dudes? No. I've never understood that. I never fall for that. JR, you know you're my guy. I can't agree with that one. But there's a lot of y'all that don't agree with a lot of things I say, so it's all.
Well, no, it's a real thing. So, Josh, I'm with you because
it's a real thing.
We bring up Tua's record sub 40 degrees all the time. He's never been able to perform in the elements ever.
Hey, listen,
it's a real thing.
Do you remember that Chicago game where it was frigid cold? Where James Cook just went off. James Cook is a Florida boy. What the hell is he doing running like that in the cold? He should be afraid of the cold.
Well, you should be able to run in anything.
What's that?
You should be able to run in anything. You know what I mean?
My point is, you're a football player. You're a football player. Like, it's just what it comes down to. Cold weather, I don't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear all that. But it is going to be a factor nonetheless. So, who'd you say? You got the Texans?
Houston, I got a W.
One, right?
No, Bills are winning it.
Yeah, I got the Bills winning. They can't lose to these guys again. I can't. They gotta pay these Texans back. And Josh looked absolutely horrible. He is not going to forget it. He's going to redeem himself against the Houston Texans. Will the Houston Texans bring it just as hard as they did the first time? Absolutely. But Josh is going to be at his best, and I think that he's going to deliver. He's going to deliver to the Buffalo Bills, and the Buffalo Bills will take on the Texans on the road. Thursday Night Football. Don't care when it is. And I don't know if anybody's fact checked you yet. If he has not lost on Thursday nights.
Yeah, Signified did 7-0 is Josh Allen on Thursday Night Football.
I like it.
Thank you, Signified.
I like it. Here we go. My man Hill says, Rico must jog successfully outside in NS, no effect on lungs. Holy crap, fellas.
Coming at you. They're coming at you.
A football player is a football player.
Get him.
Like, of course it's going to affect everyone that's playing. Like, I get cold like you get cold. You still have to perform. Oh, but because I'm in a warm weather area, I'm not going to play ball. I'm not going to be good. Get the F out of here with that. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it one bit. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you guys do that. My lungs will be just as affected as yours when we go out for a jog.
So you don't buy it on the Dolphins at all?
Absolutely not. I don't buy it.
That's crazy.
I won't be.
That's crazy. Anytime the Dolphins are in that situation, they get the doors blown off of them. Every time.
They just happen to be not a good team playing a better team. Make the Dolphins go up in the cold against what's a cold climate team? That's not a very good team. Cold climate.
Cleveland.
Is Cleveland? Yeah. Miami, Cleveland. Do you think the Cleveland's going to take care of Miami? But Cleveland's got a good defense though, so you can't I'm talking about not a good team.
Well, I'm saying Signify brought it up earlier. The Dolphins played the Packers last year. I saw the weather. I'm like, look at the spread. Take the Packers with the alternate points. It's exactly what happened. The Packers absolutely destroyed them. You go back a couple of years ago, Dolphins played the Chiefs in the wild card round. It was one of the worst performances offensively I've ever seen from a team in the playoffs, ever. If it wasn't for one duck throw that was thrown up for grabs that Tyreek Hill wound up coming down with, I don't think they would have had more than one chunk play that entire game. They couldn't do anything. And then every time the Dolphins have played the Bills in the weather, granted, they've played better than other times. I mean, they've given the Bills a couple of good games. They've never won, though. They can't win it. They can't win that element.
So you're saying to me, when the Bills went to Miami and played in that heat, and it was hot for both. It was hot for obviously both teams, but because Buffalo's a cold weather climate team, that's why they lost that game. They just weren't.
I'll give you another example. How about last year, Sunday Night Football, Bills-Niners? The Niners didn't even show up. West Coast, California
team. That crummy game, right? I think it was the snow game.
Didn't even show up. Yeah, snow. Bills absolutely destroyed them.
Straight beat down. But were the Niners good last year?
They were better than losing whatever the score of that game was.
They weren't a good team last year. They weren't a good team.
I'm saying
but they didn't show up. You're right, though. They didn't show up. They just did not show up. So I'm not gonna fault on that. They were doo-doo that game.
Yeah, I'm just saying if that game was in San Francisco, it wouldn't have been the beatdown that it was.
I get it. Listen, you guys can stick to your guns, man. I like it. Stick to the guns. I don't feel like it's that big a factor for cold climate teams going to hot areas going. It's like who's on your squad, who's your dog, who's going to play. You're never going to find Josh. This is too hot. I can't deal with this. He's still going to ball. Still going to do what he does. If you're a baller, if you can play. Anyways, I don't want to.
Dolphins fans would tell you differently. That's for sure.
I know they will. They're all against me. They're like, fuck where you go. All right, let's keep it rolling.
Let's do it.
We got Bills Steelers.
Yes.
Ooh, wait. Bills at Steelers on the road. What do you got?
Once again, Pittsburgh's one of those what are you going to get on any given Sunday type teams? I just don't think they're good enough. What I saw, I can't get out of my mind what I saw.
Does it matter who the quarterback is? If it's Aaron Rodgers, does that factor?
I don't think so. I can't get out of my mind what I saw from that team last year at the end of the year. I mean, they just imploded. Bills are just a significantly better team than Pittsburgh. So it could be closer than maybe, it would be if it was in Buffalo or if it wasn't Aaron Rodgers playing, but I still think the Bills are the superior team. Give me the Bills on the road against Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is those stupid teams that they find ways to stick around. I don't know how they do it, but they just do it. I just don't think it's going to be this game. It's just not going to. You're not sticking around this time. We're going to make sure that we dismantle you. And like how we are what? We're going into June soon. We're in the middle of May, and you still don't have a quarterback yet?
Exactly.
Are you kidding me? What are y'all doing? What are you guys doing? You missed out on Shador. For whatever reason, you guys didn't have him on your radar. Who knows? I know you drafted a rookie quarterback. I'm trying to figure who their quarterback was. You drafted a rookie quarterback that you seem pretty high on. I keep forgetting his name. If you guys can help me out, Steelers QB. I know it's Will something.
Oh, Will Campbell?
Is it Will Campbell? I thought Will Campbell was a lineman, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, Will Howard. Will Howard from
Will Howard,
Ohio State.
That dude. So they have Will Howard, and they seem pretty impressed with Will Howard. So who knows if they like him? They probably like him a lot, right? And don't forget, man, the Steelers, they drafted Derek Harmon. They got Jack Sawyer. So they're going to be obviously, doing big things. And Will Howard, they seem pretty high on Will Howard, which made them slide on Tua. Not Tua, you got me saying Tua. On Shador. So who knows? But nothing changes for me. The Bills still steamroll and take care of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Although they'll stick around as much as they can. We'll make just a couple more plays, more than the Steelers, and we'll get that dub. So give me the dub for the Bills over the Steelers.
I have not predicted a loss since week 1, by the way.
I know that.
I cannot believe this.
Here we go. Well, you pretty much are setting us up for this one. Week 14. Bills, Bengals. Home game, 4:15.
As I sit here right now, I don't know what Cincinnati's defense looks like. If we're getting another version of Cincinnati's defense last year, Bills are winning this game.
Bengals win this one.
Thinking about it real quick.
I say the Bills lose this one to the Bengals. Bills lose this one. It's just the matchup. The twice that we played these Bengals, they just had our number. We didn't play well against them. And now you got a motivated, very motivated Joe Burrow coming back, wanted to make the playoffs, didn't make the playoffs. He's like, yo, I'm coming for everybody. I'm coming for blood. And Sweet Lou just happens to have Lou for what's his name? Lou Ferragamo or whatever his name is.
Ferrigno?
Did I just say Lou Ferrigno?
I think so.
What's his name? Sweet Lou? They call him Sweet Lou out there. I forgot his last name. If you guys know what his name is, let me know. But he just happens to play his scheme for us and for Josh Allen gives us problems. And we saw it twice now. And we just did not look like the team that we should be. And listen, I haven't seen anything different. So until I see something different, the Bills lose to this one. Aeronomo. There it is. Anarumo. Thank you, Bill Nick.
I think he left.
Did he leave?
Yeah, because of the defense being so
Indy?
bad.
He did go to Indy. Oh, they fired his ass. Well, shoot,
So I'm seeing good points being made about Cincinnati. They don't really start.
Thanks for the update. Thanks for the update.
Cincinnati doesn't really start playing well until to the second half of the year. You're going to get the best version of them.
I'm still taking the Bills to lose this game.
Oh my God. I'm torn on this one.
So you have the Bills. The only loss was against the Ravens.
I know. No,
I'm not putting pressure on you. I'm not putting any pressure on you.
Bills aren't losing to the Bengals again. I'm sorry. They have got to right the wrong here against this Cincinnati. They have to. Give me the Bills. Sorry. God, I'm hating myself right now. This is not what I typically do, but I'm just not feeling a loss here anywhere.
So you still taking him to lose, even though your reasoning was a guy who got fired. No, which is fine. I'm with you.
You got vibes. You got vibes.
No. Hold on. Let me Zap TM thinks he got one on me. Hold on. When what do you call Brian Dable left? Next man up. Let's roll. Offensive never skipped a beat. Ken Dorsey left. Brady in. Offense never left the beat. Right. So Lou leaving, it doesn't mean there's going to be and I don't know who the next coordinator is. Maybe they upgraded. The only thing I want to know is if they hired from within, because same philosophies are going to stick around a little bit. So we will see how that all shakes out. But let's not forget, they still got Jamar Chase. They still got T. Higgins. They still got Joe Burrow. And the last time I checked, those two boys cooked us every time they played us. It didn't change. They cooked us. So they may not have the same people on defense. They certainly still do have the same three dogs on offense. And those three dogs continue to give us problems every time. They do. Have we stopped Jamar Chase? Have we stopped Joe Burrow? Have we stopped T. Higgins? Have we stopped them? One of y'all let me know if we stopped them. We have not. So until we show that we can, I still have us losing to them. I'm not changing my views. I'm sticking to it. Just because Lou's not there, they still got those three guys on the offense. Sweet Lou was what just gave us issues on the defensive side of the ball. We still couldn't stop on the offense. Let's keep it a buck. If we're being for real, let's keep it a buck. We haven't. We're hoping that this new regime that we have defensively will make the difference. I'm hoping. We're all hoping for it. But until I see it, I got us losing to the Bengals. All right, let's roll. Patriots.
I don't blame you, by the way. I think the Bills offense edges it out. I think the Bills defense makes one or two more stops than Cincy's D is capable of in this game. But I see where you're coming from. It's not going to be easy for sure.
Hillslayer says, I have a theory. Burrow is Allen's kryptonite. I mean, shoot.
He has been.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about the freaking Bengals. I don't know if Joe Burrow just, you know what I mean? I don't know what Joe Burrow does, bro. It's just the Bills just didn't look good. Just go back to the games that we played against them. And we still got McDermott. We still got the same defensive staff, and they still cooked us. So, I mean, shoot, we got to figure something out, baby. We got to figure something out. So we'll see when we face these boys in week 14. What about week 15 against the Patriots?
I can't fathom it. I just can't fathom the Bills week 15 going to New England and losing to a second-year quarterback. I can't. Man, no, it's the Bills here. It's the Bills on the road with the dub.
I agree with you. Bills on the road. I'm taking it.
Oh my God.
Bills Browns.
I mean, what do you want me to say? You want me to sit here and lie to you?
I'm not gonna lie to you either.
No, no. This is a Bills dub.
This is a Bills dub for me too. Bills Eagles.
Okay. So Bills lose to the Eagles. Bills lose to the Eagles here a couple days after Christmas at home. Now, this is, of course, factoring in that this game will be one that they play full stop. But yeah, I think it'll be a great game. But I just think that the Eagles, too much firepower on both sides of the ball, and that gets it done. Eagles W against the Bills.
Eagles W. So that the second loss of the season comes on the last game where we don't know if it's gonna
second loss of the year.
All right.
Oh man.
So you got it as a dub for you. So for me, this one's a tough one because we don't know the parameters. This is
just look at it like it's legit.
Okay, so legitimate. They both need to win. They're all healthy. All chips are in. Man, the Eagles team is tough, bro.
Richie's saying, by the way, the Eagles are the only team Allen hasn't beat. I don't think I knew that. That's an interesting point.
That's a tough one.
They're saving their best for him in February.
That's a tough this one. So all things being said that they're all in, everybody's playing, and there's Eagles, Bills. I gotta take my heart out of this one. Bills L.
Yep.
Bills take a loss to this one. And then Bills, Jets, give me the dub over the Jets. I don't give a shit who's playing, backups or not.
Bills will not be playing in this game. Their starters, give me the L. Jets win and ruin their draft stock.
So
let me tally it up. So
this is good.
I have the Bills going 14-3. And Rico, you have the Bills going
13-4.
13-4.
And that's a respectable record. But yet you'll have people in the chat tell me, you drunk? How are you going to give that team an L? I might as well just be Pierre. Paint Pierre on my face and we'll go 17-0. Fam, 4 losses, 13-4. It's respectable.
Same record as last year.
Your losses came to the
Ravens.
Your losses came to the Ravens.
In
week 1.
Yep. The Eagles in week 17. And a throwaway game against the backups against the Jets in week 18.
I like it. So week 1, week 17, and the Jets throwaway in week 18.
And your losses were
So my losses were the Bills,
Bucks,
the Chiefs.
Yep, the Chiefs, the Bucks.
In week 9. So week 9. And I had where did I have? Did I say the Bucks too? Yep, week 11. And I had week 14 to the Bengals.
Yep.
And then week 17 to the Eagles.
Yep.
I mean, those are legitimate teams. We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out, ladies and gentlemen. 14-3, 13-4.
Either way, I wouldn't be upset with either outcome.
Now, here's what I don't like about our record. If like you said, it's 1 seed or bust.
Yes.
So at 13-4, tough to get the 1 seed with 4 losses.
So the Chiefs won the 1 seed last year. The Bills had the second best record in the AFC at 13-4. The Chiefs were 15-2 to get the 1 seed. I think 14-3 would get it for them. 13-4,
Tight, too tight.
Tight.
Yeah, it's too tight. You're absolutely right. So 14-3 gets them that 1 seed.
Yes.
Absolutely gets them that 1 seed. So that becomes one of those games. Now, if I were to go back and say, okay, which game would I take back and say, you know what? Let me revisit that. And I'm looking at the Chiefs game. I'm looking at the Bucks game.
Bengals.
I would say, give me the Bills over the Bucks.
But they might need one of those AFC games to get the 1 seed. That's the other thing.
That's a big one too. You're right. You're right with that. But I'd say if for me to get that extra win. I mean, listen, let's be real. We want to go undefeated, which is not gonna happen. I mean, listen, I can't say it's not gonna happen. You just never know. But if I was gonna choose a game, give me the Bucks. Those Bengals, they just give us issues, man. Like, I don't care. So last year, and people in this chat, don't act like you weren't saying the same things. When the freaking Cincinnati Bengals were routing teams and putting things together, and they were hot. They were one of the hottest teams. What everybody was saying was, golly, if the Bengals make the playoffs, they're going to be a dangerous team to play.
Yes.
They're going to be a dangerous team to play. We do not want to see the Bengals. Bro, weren't we all saying that? It was legitimate what everybody was saying. Man, those Bengals, if they make the playoffs, boy, they're going to be a problem team to play. Well, guess what? They're still going to be a problem team to play. And they got a little better on defense. So we'll see. So give me the Bucks. I'll take the Bucks.
Let's take a peek at the Chiefs' schedule. Speaking of vying for the 1 seed. So this is crazy here, right? For starters, they have like 8 standalone games. Look at this. 8 standalone games. Week 1 in Brazil. They play on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. They play on Christmas against the Broncos. But prior to playing Buffalo, Chargers, Eagles, Baltimore, Detroit, Las Vegas, who always gives them fits, and then the Commanders. I mean,
tough.
dude, this schedule compared to Buffalo's, to me, and it's mainly because of their division. Their division is just so much tougher.
It's a tough, and look at that. Right after us, they go right back to Denver.
They have a bye in between.
Oh, good for them because they needed that one. Oh my gosh, man.
But in terms of gimme games, like they have Tennessee, the Giants. You could throw Las Vegas in twice, yeah, and then Jacksonville.
Bro, that's a tough schedule, bro.
But man, they're on. So they have 3 Sunday night games, 2 Monday night games, 2 Thursday games, a Friday game. Dude, this isn't there.
I want to see what the Ravens are looking at as well. I'm going to take a look at the Ravens.
How about they got them going to Brazil week 1, and then their reward for that is playing Philly the following week, who just absolutely dismantled them in the Super Bowl.
Not cool. Not cool.
I just think it's safe to say, no matter what your predictions are, is it not safe to say the Bills will have a better record than the Chiefs going into their matchup?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
I think that's safe to say.
I would agree. I'm with you on that one.
Because you got to think they lose at least one of these between the Chargers, the Eagles, the Ravens, the Lions, and the Commanders. I got to think at least one of those is a loss. I would just say at the very worst, the Bills and the Chiefs will have the exact same record going into the game.
Well, let's take a look at this. Let me show you the Ravens.
Let's see it.
The Ravens are no better than the Chiefs, man. They're in a tough situation. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Can you guys see that? I'll actually zoom it in. It's very hard to see. If it's gonna let me. There we go. All right, is that better? Can you guys see that?
Yeah,
better. I'll zoom in one more. All right, so you got Ravens. They play us. Then they go to Cleveland, Who knows how that's going to play out? Because
that's a tough start. Holy
that's
crap.
a tough start. Bills, Browns, Lions. Then you go to Kansas City, at Kansas City, home against the Texans, and then you got the Rams.
Damn.
Bro, they're first. That's tough, man. Their first 6 games are just as bad, and they have the bye the same week we do.
Bills are 100% going to be in the driver's seat for the 1 seed going into November.
Listen, we're going to be in good shape. Then they go Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns again.
Oh, it really lets up. Oh, okay.
It does let up again. Then Jets, and then Bengals, Steelers, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. That's tough end.
Yeah, it's kind of that's a tough
little bit in the middle, and then the bottom half is a little tough.
Once again, though, it's the benefit the Bills are currently enjoying of being in this AFC East, like Tom Brady did for his entire career. I mean, the Ravens division is the toughest in football. You have to play the Bengals twice, the Steelers twice, the Browns twice, who beat them once last year, right? I mean, like, It's just a dogfight of a division.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. So, who else would you want to see?
New England. We said we were going to take a peek at New England's, right? I'll pull it up.
Okay. So as you take a look at New England's, I'll take a look at I want to see what the Bengals got.
Yeah.
The Bengals should have a very interesting schedule themselves. The good old Bengals.
All right. This is not murderer's row for the Patriots going into Buffalo.
Not as
Raiders,
bad.
Dolphins, Steelers, Panthers. And this is actually a really easy schedule. Look at the schedule.
Nothing crazy to me.
This is why I think that they will be in playoff contention at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But this could really screw them here. At the end of the year, there's a 4-game stretch where it's Bengals, Bills, Ravens. But I feel like going into that Ravens game late November, I bet you the Patriots are in playoff contention.
Man, you're pushing for that. You really think it's going to happen, huh?
I think this schedule is favorable. I have a lot of respect for Mike Vrabel. I think Drake May takes another step, and I think that they got better overall. Yeah, I definitely think that they're going to have a chance at the 6 or 7 seed. More likely the 7.
I think I'm with you. I think they'll be better than people want to give them their credit for. That I agree. I'm with you on that one.
You got Cincy's?
Yep, Cincy's is right up here. So Cincy, here we go, Mr. Cincy. It's a little small here, so let me scroll on in.
By the way, the Knicks got rolled by 25 without Tatum. Damn.
Listen, that buddy, what's his name? The bald-headed dude, man. He came out crazy.
Derek White?
Not Jim Brown. Derek White. Baller. Killed it.
Baller.
All right, here we go. Cleveland Browns first game up. Then they go Jacksonville, Vikings, Broncos, Lions, Packers, Steelers, Jets, Bears. I mean, they're not a bad little schedule. Steelers, Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns.
That's not the worst in the world. Yeah.
Not a bad. It's not a bad team. Not a bad squad. Not bad. Now, you know what I'm interested in is the Denver Broncos, because I think they're going to be a much better team than people want to give them credit.
I think the Broncos will be back in the wild card again.
I also agree. What's the Broncos saying? Let's see what the. So the Broncos, they got the Titans, Colts, Chargers, Bengals.
Easy
Philly,
2-game start.
And then they go internationally to New York Jets. Who knows how that's going to play out? Then you got the Giants, Cowboys, Texans, Raiders, then Chiefs. Then their bye week in week 12. Then the Commanders, Raiders, Packers, Jaguars, and then they play Christmas Day. Hey, do we? I'm surprised we didn't get any Christmas games.
I was stunned. Dude, we didn't get an international game. We didn't get a Christmas game, a Thanksgiving game, and like I mentioned earlier, one game outside of the Eastern time zone.
Right. I was expecting at least a Christmas. And now, listen, we can enjoy Christmas.
Thank God. I can't tell you how badly I did not want that. Which is weird because I love like getting the Bills in big spots. I really do. I want nothing to do with the Christmas Day game. I want to be able to enjoy Christmas and have the games on and enjoy them casually. I don't want to be locked in on the Bills on Christmas. I just really don't. It's going to happen at some point. I'm glad it's not happening this year.
I'm in agreement with you. I just want to relax. Just want to relax and not have to worry about, okay, guys, quiet down. Dad's got to go downstairs and go do my thing. Oh, then I got to do a podcast afterwards. Like, bro, let me just chill out. Let me relax. Let me have a good time. And away we go. I'm with you 100%.
It's Heath. What game will the Bills debut the new unis? My guess?
Thursday night
against the Dolphins. Absolutely.
Which Thursday night?
The one they play against Miami. So it will be week 3.
Week 3. I agree. I think that's that one too. Now, here I was saying something last night, and I was like, listen, for the amount of crap that the Bills have endured over the years, all Bills fans have been asking for, give them their red helmets. You guys have heard me say before, it doesn't sway me anyway. If they do it, great. If not, not a big deal. But I understand what it does for people. Do you think the Bills will finally give the fans what they want with the red helmets?
I think it would be somewhat tone deaf if they didn't. Because I just think that the answer is so simple here that if you just go with the easy answer, then the vast majority of people are going to be pleased. If you venture into the woods on a whole new concept, you know how it goes, Rico. You got to really nail that, or there's going to be a lot of people who hate it. I just think that it's such an easy solution that it would be like, it would just be, it's too easy to pass up. I guess is the best way to put it. If you're going to pass that easy option up to go with a out of left field design, I think it's going to piss a lot of people off.
So the game that we'll be playing is December 21st, Cleveland. That's the game we'll have. And then week 17, December 28th, Philly.
What?
Those are the in-between games between Christmas and
and
before New Year's. I just want to see who we're playing around that time. And that's what it's going to look like. Fun times for the Bills.
It just really feels like, and man, once again, I hope I'm not wrong here. It just really feels like the Bills season doesn't really start outside of course, week 1. It feels like their season doesn't start until November based on the way that schedule starts.
Run that Bills schedule back to me. I mean, hold on. I wrote it down. So Ravens, Jets. So if you looked at it, and if you're like, you're not, it's hard to do with this, but you're not a fan of the Bills. You're just looking through everyone's schedule, and you're like, hey, what do the Bills have? Ravens, Jets, Dolphins, Saints. Oh, buddy, Patriots, Falcons. Oh man,
yeah, like you got it.
I'm sure that's what they're thinking.
Don't you have to be an insane Bills hater to give them more than 2 logical losses going into Kansas City?
And that's like you said, something went horribly wrong.
Yes.
They said that's an aggressive take there, Z-Bot.
I know. Walt. It feels so aggressive that I'm having a tough time even saying it out loud. But look at this schedule and tell me where I'm wrong. I mean, other than week 1 in Baltimore, I'd love to hear. And once again, you can also maybe factor in like something goes south against Miami or New England in a divisional game. That's the only way I see an L here. All the way up until Kansas City. And then Rico, if they beat Baltimore, then I mean, I don't know. The sky's the limit. If they can beat Baltimore, they can legitimately be undefeated going into November.
So let me ask you something. Did Buffalo's you don't have us losing to any of these teams. Is Buffalo's roster, did it improve that much more over the rest of these guys? Or is it just a matter of like I just feel like the Bills are just a better team than that team, and that's just what it is. Like, I guess my question is, why are you so confident that you don't see many losses? You just feel that this team is destined to take care of business.
The Bills are just the superior team to every single team on the left side of that column, but Baltimore and Kansas City, which they're on the same playing field as. That's why I don't see more than a loss going into Kansas City. I also think the Bills had one of the best off seasons in the league, and they already have one of the best teams in the league. They already have potentially the best quarterback in the league. And all of those other teams, I don't think got good enough to where they're on the Bills level or within striking distance. I don't know.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. I'm just curious because I'm like, offensively, we pretty much stayed the same. We didn't really lose anybody that's significant, but I think we slightly improved at the receiver position. At least in my opinion, I think we improved at the receiver position. But other than that, O-line stayed the same, running back stayed the same, quarterback stayed the same, coaches.
Which is exactly what you want. If everything stayed the same as is, it doesn't.
Yeah. 100%. I think we got slightly better on the receiver position. Defense, on the other hand, I mean, it's too soon to say, but I mean, Maxwell Harrison should be a solid addition next to Benford. The safety position remains the same. The linebacking position remains the same. The defensive front
could be drastically different. We're going to see.
We're going to see.
So and that's what it comes down to.
So are we that much better defensively than the Baltimore Ravens offense? Then I'm like, okay, so offensively, what are the Jets bringing to the table? What are the Finns bringing to the table? Waddle still, I mean, there's not a lot of change on the offensive side of the ball for the Dolphins. They still got Waddle. They still got Tyreek. They have Devin A-Chain and Tua. Tyreek
does nothing against the Bills when he's with Miami. And Tua always chokes against the Bills.
No, you're not wrong. I'm just saying it's not like they're scrubs, is what I'm saying.
Oh no, I'm not. No.
And then
it's just one of those situations where the Bills have their number.
Right. Saints, I'm not too sure about the Saints. I mean, right now they don't really have a quarterback. I mean, who is it going to be? Desmond Ridder? I don't even know. Desmond Ridder, or is it?
It's going to be that Tyler Shuck kid that they drafted in the second round.
They really like that guy, huh? They really freaking do like him.
I don't know if they got a choice. Really?
Well, who's the other guy? They have the other light-skinned guy, not Desmond Ridder. I think it's the other guy.
Mariota?
No. Who's the other light-skinned cat they got? They gave him a shot. Is it Desmond Ridder? It's not Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder's one of them.
No.
That's one of their QBs.
I'll tell you in a second, for crying out loud.
I'm just saying if the Bills have more than 2 losses going into Kansas City, something's wrong. Something's very wrong. Is that not insane to say? Is that not a fair thing to say?
You're not wrong, brother. Spencer Rattler.
Oh, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, that's who it was. Spencer Rattler. I mean, he played 6 games last year, but didn't really do a whole lot. But yeah, you're there, man.
Wait, does Desmond Ridder even? Does he even play for? No, does he?
He's
the Falcons. We're getting them mixed up.
He was with the Falcons.
Yeah, we're getting them mixed up.
And then Spencer Rattler went to the Saints.
Yes.
I always get those two guys mixed up.
Yes.
Tyler Shuck, is he that nice?
I mean, listen though, Rico. Looking at that left side, wouldn't you have to say something had to have gone very wrong? Either an injury or just an unforeseen implosion on one side of the ball for them to lose more than 2 games going into Kansas City.
It's tough. I'm with it. I like your thought process, and I like it even more when you said we need the 1 seed.
Need it.
It's the 1 seed. You gotta get the 1 seed.
Need it.
You gotta get it. And it's gonna be the first time we got the 1 seed in a long time. You gotta get it.
I don't. When is the last time? I don't even know. Certainly not in my lifetime.
Sometime in the 90s.
Like everything else, right?
Like everything else.
Well, it's a default answer because it's never in my lifetime. So you just go back to the prior to 97. Super chats, Rico. What do you say?
Yeah, we're gonna get to super chats. The last time the Bills got the 1 seed was 1991.
Good God.
The Buffalo Bills secured the number 1 seed in AFC playoffs in 91, the year they finished 13-3. All right. And then more recently, the Bills have a strong contender, blah, 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 blah. Bro, 1991, dude. Second seed, not good enough. We got to get, and that's the problem. Second seed. We need that first seed. That's what it comes down to. All right, let's get into those. Let's get into those super chats, like you mentioned. We got
just to give you an example how long that's been though. My dad was 6 years younger then than I am now. The last time the Bills got the 1 seed.
There you have it. 1991. Lee, ain't that some time? I was 7 years old then. 7. What was young Rico at 7 years old? What was he up to?
Watching the Bills roll.
That's it, buddy. I am shocked we don't think we didn't get a Thanksgiving game. I think that's what he's trying to say. Yeah, I think we're all shocked. We didn't get Christmas, we didn't get Thanksgiving. Maybe they got something planned for us next year in our new stadium. Maybe they're just
that's a good point. You know that they'll be trying to showcase that thing. Yeah. And I'm telling you, enjoy this schedule this year.
Yeah.
Because I think the Bills really lucked out in a variety of different circumstances. I bet you next year they're probably going to get an international game. They're not going to dodge it. They're starting to send the good teams over to these games. I don't think they'll dodge it 2 years in a row.
How many games you plan on going this year?
Oh, I'll be at that Jets game week 2. And then,
for sure, 100%.
Oh, yeah, because it's down here. It's down near where I'm at.
You know what? Yo, put that schedule back up again. If you still have it up. When are we at New England?
Week 15. December 14th.
December 14th. If I was ever to go to a Bills game, if I can make it to Buffalo A, that's definitely going to be one of them. But damn, December 14th? Yuck. In the winter? Bro. I mean, I don't know. Any Bills fan that live in that Massachusetts, Foxborough? Is it super cold in December?
Early
yeah. December?
Oh, big time.
Ugh. It's not December 14th here, bro. You're laughing. It's like pretty nice.
Really?
Very nice, actually. Oh yeah. See, Nova Scotia, we get our summer start. Don't ask me to do anything nice in June. June is still you're still kind of getting it. Our summers are super late. So once July hits, mid-July, August, your money. September, fantastic. October, even better. You get that what they call Indian summer, where it's supposed to be getting colder. Nova Scotia is super nice. We start getting snow maybe late December. Crazy. That's how nice it is.
What game could you pull off there, you think, in Buffalo, if any?
Well, I'll tell you this. That Miami game.
Ooh, Thursday nighter?
I know Kevin wants to go to a game, and he says, we're going. So I will definitely be going to a game this year with Kevin. We're just trying to figure out which game is best. So that Miami game, hold on, is that the Miami game is a home game for us, correct?
Week 3, Thursday night, it's home, yeah.
So that might be one that we target.
I would 1000% come join you for that.
Would you now?
Oh, I would indeed. In fact, I just got a text from my buddy Dan Mitchell, who was inquiring on potentially going to that one with the AFC East roundtable. So we can make this a thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'm gonna start putting some pressure on Kev, and maybe we can make this freaking thing work.
Ooh, boy.
That would be a time. That would be a time.
That indeed would be a time. Prime time. Plus, you'd have, so it's a Thursday, so if you could get off of work Friday, you'd have the whole weekend as a buffer, too.
What I'm trying to tell you, brother, is this. We can definitely make that work.
Ooh,
because I'm not working night shift. I can figure my life out. If I don't have, hopefully I'm not teaching any classes for that week. Bro.
And then we'll have to drive somewhere together after and go do a show somewhere.
Buddy, we'll figure it out. We're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to figure it out. Arby's.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
We're going to have to figure it out. Thursday night game.
So Danny Mitchell just texted me, by the way. He said AFC East roundtable event. Bills Dolphins in Buffalo week 3. Just asked me if I wanted to go. So they're all going. You're going. We're all going. I mean, lock this in right now. All right.
I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna freaking make it work. I'm gonna make it work.
By the way, and that it also includes, of course, TD. So that just is worth the trip in itself, right there. Dolphins, Bills with TD. I mean, come on.
All right.
Are you kidding me?
And Kevin's a Dolphins fan, so that
And Kevin, and then we'll get Pierre and Bobby. We'll go nuts.
Hold that line. Hold that thought here. I'm gonna give Kev a call and see if he was awake.
He saw that schedule and went to bed, and no one could blame him.
Let's see if can you hear that ringing in the background or no?
Hey,
Kev.
what's up?
Listen, man, I have you on, I'm gonna try to get you on Bluetooth here. Hey, can you guys hear him? Can you guys hear Kevin or no? You can hear him? Hey Kev, what's up, buddy?
Not much. What's going on?
Just shut your mouth and just listen to me, okay, buddy? Listen. Remember how we were talking about going to the Bills game?
Yeah.
How do you feel about week 3?
Week 3, Thursday night football.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I attended a week 3. What was it? Week 3 this year? Or was it 2? Can't remember. It's Thursday night football last year. It didn't go so well. Yeah, I remember I went to Miami for my birthday.
You went to the Miami one. So listen.
The one with Tua got knocked out again.
So I'm on the line with Bot right now. We're live right now, and we're thinking week 3. TD Finns is gonna probably most likely be there. The round.
He is gonna be there.
Okay, he is.
Well, are we gonna have anyone who's a fan of the Dolphins though? Oh, that's me. Okay, I get it.
Kevin's always got some zingers, eh? So if we can listen, I'm gonna try to move some things around. I know we discussed some things, so I'm gonna try to obviously not put everything on your table too. So we're gonna try to discuss something. So would that be something of interest? Because Z-Bot,
yeah, I'll be there.
You go, I'm going, I'm down. Z-Bot's probably going no matter what. So I gotta try to make my black guys get down there with you. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll go for sure.
Okay, we're gonna try to figure this out. All right, listen. I just want to. I know you're probably getting ready for bed, so I'll let you have sweet dreams.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm down. I'll go.
All right, buddy. We'll talk soon, man.
Sounds good. Bye.
All right, ciao.
Goodbye.
Well, there you have it.
I mean, we're cooking. I mean, I didn't think we'd be cooking this heavy right off the bat here. But
Well,
we're cooking.
I was like, hold on, New England, what's going on? Let me see if I can try to make something happen here. Week 3? That's in September. That's my time to go to Bills games.
Bartek, I see you're in here. Bartek, Bartek has been trying to get to a game with you and I both there at the same time, like forever. Bartek, you need to be there. You need to find a way. And everybody in the chat too, by the way. We could go nuts.
Bro, we can make this happen. Say I'm gonna put my coins away, see what these ticket prices will be hitting, and we gonna make this shit happen.
Bartek, look at this. Bartek sent it in the chat like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. Late to the party. Did Rico decide what game he's going to yet?
We decided. Week 3. It seems legit. I think I'm well ahead of time to book that time off, so they know don't mess with my ish. It ain't happening.
So Maggie's going to be there. Richie's going to be there. Bartek said he wouldn't miss it. Signified is rolling up for week 1 to watch the Ravens spanking, but he might need to come up for week 3 too.
Let's try to you know what you remember we were talking about making an event. This might be one of those times.
Johnny's going to be there.
Johnny's got season tickets.
Yeah,
Johnny. Listen, those are listen. We're going to have to discuss this. This is serious business. Now, see about we're in that territory now, buddy. We're in that territory. He's rubbing the beard. He's like,
Oh, I'm scheming. I'm scheming. I'm scheming up.
I kind of like it. Let's go to my man Richie Fresh. What up, Rich? I'm not sure if we read this one yet, but we're gonna do it anyway. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Buffalo Fanatics filling a 15-2 record at least. Got my Did I read that right? I got my monkey moving real hard.
Richie, you dog.
Buffalo Inception 1960 Super Bowl 60. Hit that horn for me. I like it, Richie. Richie talking about his monkey moving. All right, boy. Signified Note says, I'll be there week 1. Thank God I don't have to go into the slums that is Baltimore like I had to for week 4 last year. Bum ass team. I don't think I've ever met someone that hates Baltimore so damn much other than Ricky. My man Signified Notes.
No, Signified is the ultimate tier
Underrated.
Ravens hater.
Absolutely, 1,000%. Richie says, my only issue with the schedule is they're missing our final game on February 8th, 2026. Oh, I see what you're doing there, brother. I'm shaky. I'm so pumped feeling this boys shot time. Listen, save the shot times. Save it for the game weeks, buddy. Save it for the game weeks. Brandon Wright says, yo, week 10 to 16, 2 home games, 5 away. That's a nasty week. It's nasty work. I mean, listen, man, I think we've had worse. We've had worse. But I mean, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. This is what you gotta do. You gotta win these games. If you want to be a true contender, you gotta win these games, man. You gotta love it. What do we got? JR says, great show as usual. Our defense is going to have a good year. Our offense will be top 5 this year and will be the number 1 seed, 13-4 record, JA MVP 2 years in a row. Yeah.
Me and JR on the same wavelength.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. 2-time MVP back-to-back. JA17. Newly, freshly, engaged. Oh, I kind of like that. You say 1 seed or bust, but bust usually means a coaching change. I know how you two feel about McDermott. So y'all sure it's bust this year? I mean,
don't put words in my mouth. Signified. Bust doesn't mean firing to me. It more so means like it's 1 seed or it's not. You're never gonna get it. Like to me, it's like this is the ultimate year to do it.
But what Signified is telling you is if you're never gonna get it, why are you sticking with the coach?
And what I'm telling Signified is if we get the 2 seed, it doesn't mean that Sean McDermott's getting fired. Nor should he be even in consideration for being fired.
Listen, if you continue to have your team in success, in position to be successful, and always ranked high enough to make a difference, I mean, listen, you got to keep it rolling. But some people are like, well, what about Andy Reid? He got fired and he was still a good coach. I don't know. Maybe there was something internal that was happening. You know what I mean? Who knows? But I can tell you right now, Brandon Beane and McDermott are like this. It don't seem like those boys are going anywhere anytime soon. Richie Fresh comes back and says, Jackson and Hairston pan out. We're going to 60. Enough said. Listen, man, if those 2 guys pan out, I'm excited about this draft class.
Me too.
I'm excited about what they were going to do. And I'm excited about the depth of this draft class. And I will tell you this. I don't know about you, Bob, but there's going to be some guys that their position is in jeopardy on this squad based on where we drafted and how many guys we brought to the squad. Cam Lewis is definitely one of them. I know that he's a depth piece, but bro, count your days, brother, because it's gonna be a fight. DeMar Hamlin, count your days. Might be. Who knows how that's gonna shake out? I'm trying to think of any other position that's like on the defensive front. Maybe AJ Epinesa. Maybe we keep AJ and then call it a day. Who knows? There's a lot at stake. A lot at stake. We'll see.
Especially up in that deep front. Especially
at deep front. I'm not accounting for them to get moved, but I know this is a numbers game. And if we're trying to keep a number of linebackers or we're trying to keep a number of DBs because we like DB over defensive line, it's not like the Bills haven't done it before. They traded, who was the 7th round draft pick that we had? And we traded him to the Panthers, I believe. If you guys are better, he had dreads, light-skinned cat, defensive lineman, and we moved him. And he was like an energy guy. You guys let me know which one. And we drafted him several years ago. And then we traded Boogie Basham, 2nd round draft pick. Just the numbers game. Wasn't good enough. Daryl Johnson. Thank you very much. Daryl Johnson. It's not like we didn't like him, but it was just a numbers game. We moved him. Woo, out you go. Boogie Basham. We could have let him develop a little more, but we're like, nah, bro, it's not going to work out because it's a numbers game. Out you go. So maybe the same thing happens to AJ Epinesa. And I like AJ. I think AJ's been consistent. He's a 6-sack guy. Could be more. So it's not like he doesn't produce. He produces. It's just maybe he's plateaued at 6 sacks. I don't know. It's a little early. It's a little early to be talking like that. But
I say it's not early enough. I mean, with the schedule's out, baby. Schedule's out.
Schedule's out. That was not early enough, baby. I like it. Well, listen, man. 3 hours in the books, baby.
Yes, sir. Wow. How about it, man?
Honestly, I didn't think that we were going to go this long.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm sure.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Nearly 2,000 of you rocking with us the entire way, too.
Hit that
all night long. Hit the like on your way out. Drop a comment on your way out in the comment section. Let us know what games you're going to. And really stay on Rico for week 3. Tell him you're coming. Tell him you want to see him. Really keep the pressure on Rico to come week 3. Bills, Dolphins, Thursday Night Football. But to recap, Rico, we went through the whole schedule, all the nuts and bolts from top to bottom. You have the Bills 13-4. I somehow have them 14-3. That's the highest record I've ever given them. But I think it's a testament to how I view this schedule.
Felt good.
And how I view this
it.
team. I do. And man, the schedule's here. We're going to be looking at it for months, but it really makes it feel like it's real, man. It's right around the corner.
My man said, "Get close to the mic, man. You too far for the mic." Appreciate you, kid. Appreciate you, man. My man, Carolina might be maybe Pittsburgh games. Go Bills. Listen, if I can make the 2 games this year, that'd be great. I'd like to go to the Miami one. Is definitely one on the list right now, and then hopefully, if I can go to Week 15 game, bring the wife to a Patriots game away. I'd like to go to an away game.
Yeah.
Away game would be something I'd love to do. I have not done that yet.
But you also have to factor in it's the last year at the Ralph. Like, that's another reason why you have to make it happen.
That's true. That's true too. And the tickets are going to be freaking skyrocket. It's going to be nuts.
No, I won't. Well, in the new stadium, you mean?
No, this one, because everybody's gonna be like what you're saying, trying to get to the last game and
I'm telling you, it won't be bad.
And all that good stuff.
It won't be bad. It won't be. They never are.
I like it. Well, folks, you guys already know what to do, man. Drop that like. If you guys have not followed myself or Z-Bot on X, go ahead and do that. If you have not followed us on socials, hit Buffalo Fanatics on every freaking platform you can think of. It's there. Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, freaking Twitch, you name it, we're on it.
Threads.
Hit us up. LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah, we're looking for gigs, right? You know, send us an email, whatever. Wow. All right, 3:10 in the books on the 2025 schedule release night. It's out, it's there, it's real, and we're ready to rock. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds. But for tonight, dove into all of it, and we appreciate every single one of you who dove into it.
Love it. Love every bit of it. So Z-Bot, sign us out with one of your outros. Oh, he's a little frozen. So as he's frozen, chilling out, Rico said, Laura says, Rico, Buffalo ain't that far, man. Ain't no one going to Foxborough. Actually, I'm in Foxborough territory. I'm like 6 hours away from Foxborough driving. So I can do that, no problem. Buffalo, I gotta fly. Listen, this is what I gotta do. This is my travel. Since I'm meeting Kevin, we'll figure that out. I would have to fly from Nova Scotia to Waterloo, Kitchener, or freaking Hamilton, and then rent a car from there, and then drive from Hamilton or Southern Ontario over to Buffalo. You know what I mean? Get a hotel stay and all that bull, and you know how that goes. And then it's just about making my flight back to Nova Scotia. This is the one part I hate about living way out here. You got to time everything right. You know what I mean? So it's all about organization. Once you organize yourself, you're good. You're good. And then Z-Bot's gonna be waiting for you with the open arms, with a big old man hug, and let's get this party started, baby.
Oh my God, I already can't wait. Is it next week already? I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, hey, once again, everybody, thanks so much as always for tuning in. 3 hours in the books. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Like button on the way out. Throw us a comment as well. Once again, let us know what games you're heading to, and we'll talk to you soon. Rico,
let's go.
Bot, much love as always, and go Bills.
Go Bills.